Hi, everybody. Good Friday evening to you. Welcome to Hall Stadium and welcome to Vype FortBend.com coverage of Fort Bend County High School football. I'm Roger Smith. Patrick Kinnick will be bringing you the play-by-play tonight. And tonight we have the Travis Tigers, who are sitting pretty in the district playoff race. They only have one loss in district play. They're taking on the ELKINS Knights. For the Knights, it's been a forgettable season, really. They've only won one game, and that was a couple of weeks ago, but it would certainly make this season at least a little bit memorable if they could pull off the big win over Travis. And they do have quite a bit of talent. But it is senior night for Travis, and presumably the Tigers would not be, having any kind of letdown on a night so important as this. We'll be back with a countdown to kickoff show. VypeFortBend.com broadcasts of Fort Bend County High School sports are brought to you by Xfinity, the future of awesome. By First Tyrant Automotive. Make sure your vehicles are in shape for the fall. First Tyrant Automotive has 4 great locations, including First Colony, all of them open Monday through Saturday. For the best prices on tires, go to firsttireandauto.com. As you can tell, Patrick is moving his headset around. Okay, anyway, continuing on with telling you who our great sponsors are. We want to tell you about Nick's Italian Restaurant on FM 1464 in Sugar Land, just a few hundred feet north of Austin High School, just a few miles east of Travis High School. At Nick's Italian Restaurant, their family gets bigger every time you stop by. By Archer Volkswagen on the southbound side of Highway 59, it's just inside the Sam Houston Tollway. Open since 1956 and ready to serve you. You'll feel like family at Archer Volkswagen. By the Needville Insurance Agency. Bradley Stavanaugh and his team are your hometown trusted agents. They will get the best rate for you on your home and car insurance. You will find it with the Needville Insurance Agency. Call them at 979-793-7411, or you can visit needvilleinsurance.com. And Office Depot in Sugar Land, Southwest Freeway at Williams Trace, taking care of business every day. So VypeFortBend.com can bring you Fort Bend County sports every week. We've got a jam-packed countdown to kickoff show. We'll be right back with that when we continue on VypeFortBend.com.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
ELKINS cheerleaders and Travis Vype call themselves the Tigers, but we're the real Tiger Kings. Good luck biting those armor on the Knights. Coach Friendly is next on VypeFortBend.com. Go Knights! Yeah!
Hi, this is Mariela
and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Welcome to the Countdown to Kickoff show. We've got the ELKINS Knights taking on the Travis Tigers. It's senior night for Travis, and ELKINS would love to spoil it. And I guess Coach Dennis Brantley is with us, and it's time for me to ask you, are there some seniors that you'd kind of like to name who have really just made great contributions to the program, even though it's not ELKINS senior night? This is your chance to sing some praise.
Yeah, Torian Crawford, Christian Palouse, Deron Smith. Some guys that kind of stand out real quickly in my mind. They've been here for 4 years, and they really been leaders in the program. You know, no matter ups and downs, they always had that same attitude. Good team players.
Is there a particular theme that you've had in practice this week? I know you're trying to keep everybody encouraged. You did get a win 2 games ago, and you know your team is capable, so what have you been telling them to help them be best prepared for the game?
Well, one thing we talk about always that, you know, we might have a losing record, but we're not losers. You know, losers don't practice hard, losers give up, losers quit, losers feel sorry for themselves. So that's what we've been focusing on. Been having good practices. Guys are still bought in, guys are still practicing hard and trying to give everything they got. So I appreciate that and applaud them for that.
One good thing, great thing really about Fort Bend ISD is we do have a lot of continuity. You know, you have a lot of coaches who are fully invested, you know, the kind of coaches that players know they're not going to just skip town and leave at the drop of a hat. That's very, very important.
Yes.
And because we have coaches that have been in their positions for a long time, sometimes you know some things about the other guy that maybe he doesn't really want you to know. Is there something in particular that you know about Trey Sissom, maybe a tendency that you might be willing to share, or you could say, yeah, I know some, and I can't tell you?
I don't want to share, but I can tell you this. I do know some things. I'm quite sure he knows a whole lot about me. We've been playing each other for years, so it's mutual respect, and I know they're going to be prepared, know they're going to be well coached, and we know some things that they're going to always do no matter what.
All right, well, you know they're thinking ahead. They're thinking, hey, we've only got 1 loss on our district record. We take care of this one tonight, and then we get to play Ridge Point for the top seed. But, you know, sometimes you can catch a team looking ahead, and this might be your opportunity.
Well, we hope so. I can tell you this, we're going to play as hard as we possibly can, and we are here to win the game. Regardless of whether we're undefeated or the record that we have, we're going to play very hard and expect to win the football game. All
right, so if the Travis Tigers don't know that, they'll know it as soon as they step on the field. All right, thank you very much, Coach Brantley. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
We'll continue with our Countdown to Kickoff show right after this on VypeFortBend.com.
When everything works together, it's a beautiful thing. With Xfinity, you get Wi-Fi faster than a gig to power a house full of devices, so your home becomes a symphony of activity. We start with Dad streaming cooking videos in the kitchen. Add a little gaming in the basement. Gorgeous. Now let's bring in some working from the couch. And finally, the sweet melody of Grandpa streaming his nature shows. Can your internet do that? And there goes Grandpa.
Power a house full of connected devices. Learn more about Wi-Fi speed faster than a gig and other fast speed options. Get started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year agreement. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 12/31/21. Restrictions apply. New Connect 50 megabits per second Internet customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig Internet and Xfi Gateway. Actual speeds vary.
Welcome back to the Countdown to Kickoff show on VypeFortBend.com. Tonight it is Travis taking on Elkins, and here to introduce himself and the rest of our officiating crew is our referee.
Hi, I'm Bill Stevens, referee for tonight's ball game. My umpire is Rogers Chrisman. Steve Perhota is the head line judge. John Ferris is the line judge. At side judge tonight is Brian Raines. Brian Gorman is the field judge, and rounding out our 7-man crew is back judge Chuck Gurney.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stevens, and thank you very much, Mr. Chrisman, for blocking the wind while we recorded this. We'll be right back with more on the VypeFortBend.com Countdown to Kickoff show.
And we mean everything. We take care of you, so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max. Taking care of business.
We're the Travis cheerleaders, and to put it bluntly, the night should have just gone to the Renaissance Festival. But no, here they are, and they're going to get the applause all night. Coach Sissom is next on the Countdown to Kickoff show. Go Tigers! Go!
Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firsttireandauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Tire and Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firsttireandauto.com.
Welcome back to Windy Hall Stadium for more of the Countdown to Kickoff show. And the Travis Tigers are trying to keep pace in the race to win district. They could still get that top seed. First things first, though, they have to beat the ELKINS Knights. And now Trace System joins us on this Countdown to Kickoff show. And is there anything in particular that we're going to see different from your team as you go into this game with the Knights?
I don't really think so. You know, we've had a great week of practice. It's senior night for us, so we're getting to celebrate that with all of our kids that have been in our program for 4 years. So, you know, we got a lot to play for. We're still in the district title hunt. You know, we got to keep pace with Ridge Point. Obviously, they have a good game with Bush tomorrow that's coming up. So, you know, we need to take care of business and stay consistent like we've been the last couple of weeks against a really talented ELKINS Knights teams to hopefully give us a chance to stay in the district title hunt.
I know you've been through many a senior night, and I know you've got business to attend to. You got to take care of that game, but are there times when before a game and you hear all those names mentioned that you get a little bit misty?
Yeah, you know, when you start looking at the kids we have, I mean, this senior group has really not ever lost. You know, it's really a neat thing for them to come through as freshmen, and we pull out the pictures this week and look back when they you know still had the water behind their ears, so to speak, and see how they've matured and grown into young men, and it really makes you appreciate what we do as coaches, and hopefully, like say, 10 years down the road, like say, there will be great young men, you know, that come back as fathers and husbands and still doing the things that we taught them in football.
I'm going to just ask one more question because I see the referee wants to talk to you, and he always takes priority. But let me ask you this. You know, whenever I'm getting close to playoff time, I'm always looking ahead and trying to look at the matchups and things like this. I go to Max Preps if I can't get information in other places. But already on the Tompkins Max Prep site, they say that they are playing you on Thursday the 11th in the first round of the playoffs. Is that a done deal? Because I don't think it is it?
No, not at all. Like I say, it's kind of funny that you say that. It's kind of like some of the other places that had us losing the Clements a couple of weeks ago, you know. But the internet has its way of putting things out there. But we, you know, if we can get by ELKINS tonight and come up with a quality win, you know, we'll be in the playoffs and we'll be in one of the top 2 spots in Division I. You know, obviously Ridge Point and us will be the 2 Division I reps, and then like I said, if we're fortunate to get a win tonight, then we'll go into that game next week with kind of a winner take all, not only a district title but also that number 1 seed in Division I. So I think Tompkins is in the same boat with Ridge Point. They've already secured their spot, but there's still some things over there that's got to work out. So you know, playing on Thursday and Friday, heck, as long as it's not a Saturday. We've had so many Saturday games in a row. We were leaving the school earlier today, and I was like, man, this is Friday afternoon. Normally we're going to the house to go get something to eat before we go scout, but you know, we'll see how things go. We got to win tonight against a really, really talented ELKINS team, and then we're going to take it one game at a time against Ridge Point the week after that. And you know, God willing, if we get to play Tompkins, you know, that'll be okay too. But that's a long, long way off.
But the bottom line is not necessarily playing on the 11th, and that's good because James Williams, Marshall's head coach, loves to start the first round of the playoffs on Thursday.
Absolutely. You know, yeah, I'm not a big proponent of playing on Thursdays when you get a short week and that sort of thing. You know, it kind of the one thing with Tompkins playing them, we're pretty familiar with them. I mean, we've done it the last couple of years, but like I say, when you get into the playoffs, sometimes that extra day of prep or even just the extra day of healing up with a tough game that we finish up with Ridge Point, that may be as important as anything. But like I say, we're hopeful tonight for a good game, and we know that Coach Brantley is going to have his kids at ELKINS prepared for us, and we're going to play really well tonight to get a win.
Thanks for your time. You better go talk to the ref.
All right, thank you, Roger.
All right, that's Trey Sissom, head coach of the Travis Tigers, and we're about ready to kick this one off. Patrick Kinnick, a Travis dad, is going to bring you the play-by-play, but of course, he will be entirely objective, ELKINS fans. We'll be right back on VypeFortBend.com, your broadcast home for Fort Bend County High School sports.
Become a Vype Insider today. Access breaking news in high school sports. Enjoy premium articles and exclusive coverage written by expert analysts, and watch exclusive videos, documentaries on programs in your area. It's only $2.99 a month if you subscribe for the monthly plan. If you go for the yearly plan, it rounds out to just $1.99 a month. It costs you only $24 a year to get all of your Vype news throughout the entire year. Subscribe today. What are you waiting for? It's less than a cup of coffee a month. Become a Vype Insider. $2.99 a month, $23.99 for the whole year. Hey, it's Vype. We will see you at the games.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Okay, welcome back. We're inside. I just realized something. I need to turn up our microphones. Okay, and I'm going to start over. We're back inside Hall Stadium, and the captains are meeting at the center of the football field. And here to bring you the play-by-play of tonight's game is the true Tiger King, Patrick Kinnick.
The true Tiger King.
Are you aware of those shows about tigers and people who keep pet tigers and stuff like that? Because it's all the rage.
It's all the rage.
Yeah.
I can't say I have watched any of those episodes. Looks like ELKINS won the toss and have deferred, meaning the Tigers of Travis will receive the ball, and they're going to have the wind into their face.
Yes.
Whatever's left of that wind.
That's right. You know, I was going to say that when the sun was out, I was very concerned that we'd have a very brisk wind that would affect the game and also affect what we do up here. I was afraid it was going to blow away all of our stuff.
Well, just so everyone knows, on the way over, we were scurrying over here, and we get a text from Roger who pleads for a roll of tape so that our sheets of paper don't go flying all over the place. So we had to make a mad dash into the Walgreens and get some tape. I hope it's acceptable, Roger.
Oh, yeah, it's the right kind. You know, just that clear strapping tape.
Yeah.
Good, strong stuff.
Deep for the Tigers. We got Robert Sims. And I believe that's Dominic Njoku, also deep. They're right about the 8 to 10 yard line. They're going to be kicked off by the ELKINS Knights. Looks like number 9 is kicking off. At Bass. He's got a pop-up kick. It's going to be caught at the 40-yard line by the up man. And who is that up man?
21.
Is it number 21?
21.
That would be Atkins. Coleman Atkins for the Travis Tigers was able to pick up that ball out of the air. It was popped up, and a real short kick trying to get some sort of a break early were the Knights.
And one of
Good heads up by the Travis Tigers. Go ahead.
One of the Tigers backed into him right before the ball came down. He was lucky he caught it.
Here's the first snap of the game. Njoku. Inside handoff. It's going to be a reverse. That's Sims. He's around the edge. Doesn't look like he's going to get a whole lot, though. The ELKINS Knights are all over him for maybe a 1-yard loss. And I don't know if you saw the man who made him have to go deep into the backfield. I believe that was number 70.
Well, I will say this. When the play was kind of blown up right about where Anthony Njoku took the snap, there were several Knights back there that kind of forced him to reroute, but Torian Crawford, the big man, number 90,
I believe that was the first
able
guy,
to chase him down over near the numbers.
There was almost contact on the reverse. That's how well it was covered. And now it's 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Njoku back to pass. He's got a pass through the hands of his receiver, Van Wyck. He looked like he should have had that one. The ball was right in the midst, and I don't think we can use the weather as an excuse on that one, can we?
Oh, well, the weather is perfect. So no.
Football weather tonight, I'll tell you. I guess we're probably in the 60s right now, and it's supposed to dip down into the 50s, maybe even the 40s, I heard. 3rd and 10. Well, close to 11 here for the Tigers on their first series. Njoku back to pass, being rushed. Now he steps up into the pocket. Looks like he's going to run. He's going to try for it. And he's going to be tackled from behind on a nice play by, looks like number 40. He's got his number, or no, it's number 12. Number 12, how did he get 40 out of that? That's Christian Palouse with the tackle. He came in from behind.
They're chanting Palouse. And
nice play by and now we have an injured player for the Tigers down around the 43-yard line.
It looks like it's one of the offensive linemen. It will be 4th and 6. And no doubt the Tigers will bring on Antonio Rubio to punt it away. But I wanted to give you some numbers on Travis. Offensively, they average 316.5 yards per game, and they allow 274.25 yards per game. Elkins has just had a really rough year offensively. Elkins gives up, or I should say they gain 188 yards per game, and they allow a pretty respectable 272. And Anthony Njoku kind of leads the team both in rushing and, of course, in passing. The senior quarterback is, he's run the ball for 637 yards. It's a 6.07 yards per carry average, 8 touchdowns, and he's been hit a lot, Patrick, but Anthony Njoku has not fumbled this season. That's pretty remarkable.
Knock on wood.
And his main running back, Jamison Singletary, 346 yards. He averages 4.33. He has scored 3 touchdowns. When it comes to passing, Njoku is a 51% passer, 89 out of 176. He's thrown 15 touchdown passes and only 2 interceptions. That is quite remarkable. Now let's see. We've got coming off the field, it is Dawson Elliott. And Dawson is a big young fella, and I mean young. He is just a sophomore. It was really amazing here on senior night, Patrick. You and your wife Maureen and your son Sam were among so many senior players who are part of the Travis program, as well as trainers, and they're going to have a lot of people to replace at the varsity level next year.
I just realized that tonight, really, how many seniors there were, and we filled almost the whole length of the field there with all the players, and then, of course, the cheerleaders and trainers and so on were introduced as well. Yeah, a lot of upperclassmen. Well, we're going to get a punt from Rubio, and I don't think that's the way the Travis Tigers planned on starting their offensive night, but a good job by the Elkins Knights to hold them on that first series. A good snap, and here's the kick. It's going to roll. It's kind of a low kick, and then he rolls down close to the 10-yard line, so it ends up being a pretty good kick. You might have done the math, Roger. Did you do the math on that one?
Unfortunately, that time I didn't do the math, but I still can. Hold on. All right, so we got 6, 16, 26, 36. A 45-yard punt with no return.
I didn't mean to put the pressure on you.
No, it's okay. I should have been on top of that.
No,
really,
because I don't necessarily do that for you, and I. Well, anyway, here come the Knights. They're at their own. I think they're going to mark it at the 11. And Isaiah Smith is the quarterback in a shotgun formation. He's got a reverse play to the left side, looking pretty good. Around the edge, it's going to be close to a first down. It looked like Greg Green with the ball as he came around from the right to the left, took a pitch to the left and gained close to 7 yards on the play, and it's a good first down play for the Elkins Knights.
Yes, the alliterative one, Greg Green. And he not only starts both of his names with G, he starts both of them with GR. So that's super alliterative.
Very, very, I don't know what I was going to say there. Here's the next handoff, and he is bowled over on that play. That looked like number 22 with the ball. That's at John Luke Harmeyer?
No, it's 23.
23, I'm sorry.
Avion Stewart.
Stewart with the ball, and I had an easy name to pronounce, and I went one up on the roster. He took looking like a 3-yard loss on that as the interior of the Travis defensive line clogged that hole big time. 3rd and 5 for the Knights. Back to pass, got a man, maybe a little contact early, but not called. I don't know if you saw that, Roger. Looked like he got him a little early there.
Well, the intended receiver was Jackson Hart, and I agree with you that I think the defender did arrive just a little bit early. That's Aaron Mendiola.
Yeah, he was ready to receive that ball. Looked like his knees were kind of taken out from under him there just prior to the ball getting there. Perhaps a little break for the Tigers on that first possible penalty that was not called. And here are the Knights back to kick. It looks like it's Jackson Hart, the aforementioned receiver, going to punt it as well. High snap, but he's able to get to it. A low, kind of a knuckler, received at the 50-yard line. That's a nice reception down to 30, to the 25. He's still going down to the 20, and that is the freshman Ratliff, Carmelo Ratliff. He kind of took it a little high. He kind of caught it. Yeah, like a basketball, he's catching a pass.
It's kind of like it was a rebound in basketball, and you don't usually see that, but right after he caught it and his feet hit the ground, he leaped up to catch it. You had two punt coverage guys just kind of fly by him, and neither one of them got a piece of him. And then he took off.
He scooted by him, and then he went down about 30 yards. And they're at the 19-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Njoku back to pass, and he overshoots his receiver, and that's the same man, Carmelo Ratliff, who was open there at about the 15-yard line, but it looked like perhaps the ball was thrown to the right shoulder, and he was looking to the left shoulder. So the Travis offense is struggling here in the first 4 plays. Njoku has 2 receivers to both sides. Now he's going to have a jump. Looks like an offside play. Here's a pass into the end zone. Touchdown! It's Van Wyck into the end zone. I think they got a free play. And it should be a touchdown unless we saw – I didn't see anybody move on the Travis side, so it should be a touchdown.
Either. And anytime the defense jumps and then tries to get back, then you know they're probably offside. And guess what, Patrick? That is an Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive. It covers 19 yards in 2 plays, and it takes 8 seconds off the clock.
Well, that was pretty efficient after I just had gotten done to saying that they weren't doing so well on the offense, and then they came back with a touchdown strike, a 19-yard touchdown pass. Here's Rubio, the snap, the kick. It is up, and it is good. 7-0 Tigers with 9:32 to play here in the first quarter.
When everything works together, it's a beautiful thing. With Xfinity, you get Wi-Fi faster than a gig to power a house full of devices, so your home becomes a symphony of activity. We start with Dad's streaming cooking videos in the kitchen. Add a little gaming in the basement. Gorgeous. Now let's bring in some working from the couch. And finally, the sweet melody of Grandpa streaming his nature shows. Can your internet do that? And there goes Grandpa.
Power a house full of connected devices. Learn more about Wi-Fi speed faster than a gig and other fast speed options. Get started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months with the 1-year agreement. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 12/31/21. Restrictions apply. New Connect 50 megabits per second Internet customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig Internet and Xi Gateway. Actual speeds vary.
Be with us tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. on VypeFortBend.com for a big game between Ridgepoint and Bush. Ridgepoint undefeated in District 26A play, and the Bush Broncos have only lost 1. So that'll be a huge game.
Here's Rubio's kick into the wind. Fair catch called at about the 25. He muffed it, and I think he got on it, though, as one of the Tigers was down there right away, making that tackle. And number 3 received it, and that was Thomas, Lucre Thomas.
Yes, Lucre rhymes with, I don't know if Lucre rhymes with anything, so.
Mucre.
Rhymes with.
Hal McRae.
Well, in Spanish.
You remember Hal McRae, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But in Spanish, if you're saying sugar, that's azúcar. No, that's azúcar. Okay. Never mind.
Oh, boy. Here we go with the snap. Elkins' second possession. No going there as the Tiger defense was on top of that as Isaiah Smith handed it off to his back there. And it was Stewart again. And this time he had nothing there. That interior of the Travis line is causing havoc early on here for the Elkins Knights. Second down, and they lost a yard there. 2nd and 11 as Isaiah Smith waits now. He's got two backs with him. Quick pass to the left. It's going to gain 5, maybe 6 and 7 yards as he approaches the first down yardage. Trying to find the number. Is it 3? Number 7. It's Hart, Jackson Hart. Actually, it looked like, as I look at him running across, it looked like number 8. He called Hart, but it might have been Greg Green who made that catch. But now I see Jackson Hart down there again. I'm not sure who had that pass. I need a spotter here.
We need binoculars.
Yeah, binoculars
That's
would be
what
good.
we ought to get,
Yeah,
binoculars.
Third.
Ask your wife for some binoculars for Christmas.
3rd and 2. Here's Smith keeping it, running to the left, and he's not going to find that first down yardage. Isaiah Smith tried hard to get to the edge there, and then he cut it back. And that Travis defensive line is controlling that line of scrimmage right now.
Well, Patrick, it's a small sample size, but it looks to me like the Knights just can't get anything done between the tackles.
You're right.
They throw the ball out beyond the numbers and get a little hitch screen. They hit that on the play before, but they also had that open, and both of us thought that maybe the Tigers had interfered. But they did have a guy open that could have picked up some yardage, and Greg Green on his very first play when he went wide, they moved up the sideline, but when they try to run straight ahead, it's just tackle for loss.
Yeah, they've had positives on the edge and negatives on the inside, so I think they're trying to keep them honest, but at some point you got to go with what's being successful. It's going to be 4th down and 3, and the punt team's on there again for the Elkins Knights. It's Jackson Hart. He's the kicker, and deep for the Tigers is Njoku. That's Dominic Njoku. The brothers, the seniors, playing in their second to last regular season game. Here's the kick. It's another low one. It's going to bounce at the 32, and it keeps on going. Down close to the 20. It's still rolling, and they're going to let it roll, and now they blow the whistle, and it's marked down at about the 21-yard line. Roger,
well,
you have
was
something.
easy. That was easy as 58 yards. Because from 131 to the other, 29 plus 29 is 58. 58-yard punt, no return.
Man, Roger with a quick math.
Well, sometimes.
We have a call here. I think there's a penalty marker on the play. And what was it here?
What could it be?
We, Roger, we've had a kind of a hit and miss on the microphone of the referee this year. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would.
Let's see if we hear it tonight. Oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay, that's something you don't hear very often.
And
just in case our listeners were not able to understand what our referee, Bill Stevens, said, he said that it's an illegal formation on the punt rush team when you line someone up directly over the center. And that is a penalty, so that means it's going to be a first down for the Knights after they walk off a 5-yard penalty. So that is something that I didn't really realize.
I don't know if I've seen that called this year, and it's a rare call. And one of the, let's see, are they going to mark this thing off? And now the referee is over talking to Coach Sism, and one of maybe the special teams coordinator for the Tigers was hopping up and down in disbelief on that call, and now looks like Coach Sism's got arms out in the exasperated type motion. Now he's pointing and, making sure those referees know that he indeed watched that play as well.
Okay, I don't think that Coach Sism is going to get his way.
No.
However, the chains have not moved into their new position, and the officials have not walked off the 5-yard penalty. Now they do, and that is our umpire. His name is Rogers Chrisman. Rogers, as in Rogers Hornsby.
Yes.
The great baseball legend.
Yes, he's an all-timer, Hall of Famer. Isaiah Smith is the quarterback, and he's ready to take the snap, but we got a whistle, and now Coach Sism has still got some things to say here, and I'm not sure what he was upset with that time.
Well, he's not going to let it go.
Well, he's frustrated, and, it's one of those calls that is not called, and, you just wonder where the fellow was lined up. They called him over the center, and as you said, Roger, that's not a formation you can have nowadays in football. Here's the handoff. It's to the left side, finding some room out there. Again is Stewart. And Roger, every time they've gone to the left, they have picked up 5, 6, 7 yards. And there it is again, this time about 8.
That was the angle it seemed like when Arian Foster was running at his very best for the Texans when they actually had a viable football team. That was the angle he took when he went outside the tackle.
A viable football team. It looked like somebody went early, and they did call it. It was the wing back for the Elkins Knights. Got a little head start there, and it looks like Assad Abbas took off a little early there, and they caught it. The linesman had the yellow flag out quickly there, so that brings it to 2nd down and 7 from 2nd and 2 to 2nd and 7.
You know, since Assad Abbas was just called for a penalty, you know what song is going through my head?
I can't wait to find out.
Dancing Queen. ABBA, you know, Abbas,
okay.
ABBA.
Here he is in motion. Here's Abbas in motion, and he's going for a pass from Smith, and he's the man who receives it, and he's got the first down about a yard past the marker there. So Abbas comes through big on that play. First down.
First down, and that is a first down. So think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. Yesterday we didn't have a game. I went and got an oil change.
Okay, here's the handoff, Stewart. They try the right side this time. And again, the Tiger linemen, we're going to start calling some of these guys names. They're really doing a good job on the interior of the line. And let's find out. Number 32 has to be called out here. That's Praise. I'll let Roger give us the last name.
Yeah, I've been working on that one. Dasalu.
Dasalu.
Praise Dasalu. We need to praise him like we should.
Yes, you heard it right. Praise is his first name. And he will be praised for making a good play on that one.
And look for the right defensive end or right linebacker, number 31, Thomason Olarun Femi. He's going to make some plays tonight.
Oh, somebody jumped early again, and you could just tell it was big number 75. Samuel Grantham. He's a big guy.
You know, when the Jets won Super Bowl III over the Colts, they had a linebacker named Larry Grantham. I don't know if you've ever watched the old films of Super Bowl III.
I do. I remember the quarterback for the Jets.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember him, too.
Broadway Joe.
He's a leader. He's a pro. He's a Mr. Something Else. That Broadway Joe.
Yeah. Well, here we go. We've got halftime entertainment early here from Roger. It's Smith, shotgun. He's got 3 receivers to his left. He rolls left now, looking downfield, being rushed. Off his back foot, he just threw it out of bounds. Good idea on his part to get rid of the ball. And one of the Elkins Knights went tumbling after the pass, and it was one of the...
It was Christian Palouse, and I was thinking if that was Isaiah Smith kind of doing a backwards somersault after he let the football go, then they might call roughing the passer, but it wasn't Smith who got knocked backward.
Yeah, they tend to not call it as much if they're not a quarterback. You know, quarterbacks get the, special treatment sometimes, but, they are in a vulnerable spot too. So now it's 3rd and 15 for the Elkins Knights. Off the initial first down. Smith back to pass, little middle screen, and it's a little trouble in there as it was tipped and almost intercepted by the Travis Tigers. Pretty good defense. I think had it been caught, I don't even know who the receiver was. I couldn't even find a receiver in there.
There were more red shirts there than white jerseys, and Israel Akinlabi almost got himself an interception.
Here are the Tigers ready for the kick now. Again, it's going to be Dominic Njoku, and it looks like Ratliff is with him. Ratliff had a nice return the last time. He got a 30-yard return off of that interesting, unorthodox reception of the ball over his head. Here's Hart with a good snap, kicks it off to the right side, and did it hit somebody down there?
It did.
It hit one of the guys blocking down there. It looked like number 12, Brent Johnson, who was blocking. Did not see the ball, and I think it hit his back of his legs.
Well, Dominic Njoku saved the day for Travis.
Got in on it, yeah.
And by the way, that is our Nick's Italian Restaurant family connection. You got the Njoku twins, Anthony at quarterback, Dominic playing a great position in the secondary. And remember, at Nick's Italian Restaurant on FM 1464, their family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Here come the Tigers with a 7-0 lead. Ratliff in motion. Inside handoff. Tries to cut the corner, and he doesn't get it. Nice play.
Palouse.
Christian Palouse wrapped him up and just basically just flung him down to the ground. And you can tell he's a big fella compared to Ratliff, who's the freshman, and he treated him like a freshman on that play. And it's
like hazing. That's what that was.
4-yard loss for the Tigers, who have not had a good play except for the touchdown pass. That's the only positive play they've had, really, tonight so far. 4 receivers to the left now. Njoku, quarterback draw. He's got room. 40, 45. He's still on his feet. 50. He lowers his shoulder, and he's still going inside the 40. What a run by Njoku, the quarterback. That is what is that, about I want to say a 36-yard run? Am I off a little bit on that? I'm not
think
sure.
You are correct about the 36-yard run, and the guy who got run over was Matthew McGill.
He definitely got run over, and he got about 5, 6, 7 yards after the contact did Njoku. Here's the handoff, Singletary. And no, he kept it. It's Njoku's got it. He's inside the 30 to the 25 to the 24. He faked me out on that one because I watched Singletary, and he got stopped. He started looking around, and I thought, well, he doesn't have the ball. Njoku kept it. Good fake.
By the way, Njoku's yards per carry average is 6.07. He's already raised that substantially tonight with the 2 huge runs, the double-figure runs on this drive.
And he had a 4-yard run earlier, which was a little below his average, but now he's running it again. Looked like he's going to run it straight away that time, and he's inside the 25. He's fighting for the 20. He picked up about 4 yards on that play. And he, as you said earlier, Roger, he leads the team in rushing. He is definitely the man back there for the Tigers, and he's had a really solid year. And Singletary has done real well as of late. The last few games, the last 4 games, 5 games maybe, he's come on and had a real good games from the running back spot. Njoku now has nobody with him in the backfield. 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Takes that snap, back to pass. He's being rushed. He slips past that man. Now he's rolling to his right, downfield into the end zone, and it's incomplete. Pretty good coverage by the Elkins Knight. Try to think the number down there. Looked like it was Thomas on the coverage. And
13? I think it's 13.
And the receiver for the Tigers was
John Okwigwali.
Thanks, Roger.
Go Okwigwali.
Roger knew that that would have been a tough one for me. So, I love the way Roger just takes over when he knows I'm going to struggle with a name. Here's 3rd and 6. Same formation, 3 receivers to the left and 2 to the right. Njoku has it. Up the middle he goes. Quarterback draw. He's got the first down. Inside the 15, inside the 10, to about the 9. And that was a straight draw the whole way. He spread them out. And then the middle opens up, and he just takes advantage of it. And he's down inside the 10 for a 1st and goal, Tigers.
By the way, look who's coming in. 2 guys. One of them is Sam Kinnick, and the other one is Briley Runge.
Well, let's see what they got called here. Singletary's in the backfield. Well, yes, he's in the backfield with Njoku. 2:43 to play here in the quarter. 7-0 Tigers. And here's Njoku waiting for the snap. Man in motion. Is it Ratliff? No, it's not. It's Sims. Sims got the ball inside the 10, and he's wrapped up and tackled at about the 8-yard line. That was Robert Sims getting that inside handoff. And I think they're going to mark it at the 8.
So that was kind of a 2-man tackle, and you had one of the guys in on it was Lucre Thomas, and the other one was Matthew McGill, who has recovered from getting run over a couple of plays ago by Njoku.
Yeah, thankfully he's back on that field. Njoku has Singletary in the backfield with him. 2 receivers to the right, now a man in motion. Fake handoff. Singletary has it now, and he's plowing to the goal line, and he's going to be in the end zone. He got some help from his friends, and he got in there. He got some linemen that came down there and pushed him the last yard.
It's amazing.
Touchdown.
He got to the 1, and then the scrum kind of moved back a yard or 2, and then it started advancing again toward the end zone, and in he went.
A couple of those linemen got involved on that scrum, as Roger said, and that took him the last full yard, and then they were into the end zone easily. And the Tigers now lead 13 to nothing, pending the extra point here. And here's the extra point. The snap is up there, and the kick is up, And it is good, and the Tigers now lead 14-0, a minute 48 to play in the first quarter.
By the way, Patrick, I hope you don't mind, but the Nick's Italian Restaurant family connection on that point after touchdown was the deep snapper for Travis is Sam Kinnick, and his dad is sitting to my left. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Mariela and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Back at Hall Stadium, Rubio for the Tigers, ready to kick it off. Tigers up now 14-0. Here's the kick. For his standards, it's a pop-up kick. Received at the 30. He's broken his way to the 50, to the 40, but there's a penalty marker on the play. That was Jackson on the return. He popped through there, and he was about ready to break it all the way. He was tackled at about the 37-yard line, but there was a penalty marker in down around the 41-yard line of the Knights. Let's see what that penalty was. Usually it goes against the return team. Let's see what this one's about. Will we hear him tonight? Will we hear him? Well, wait a minute. Wait,
he did not turn his mic on, evidently.
He pointed toward the Tigers.
Yeah, I guess it's not going to hurt the Knights. They will still get that.
Well, let's see. What are they doing here?
A good return.
It was a little confusing because he said illegal block, but he pointed toward the Tigers. And as Roger indicated, it is against the Knights, apparently, as they were all marching to the left here toward the north end zone, where the wind is lightly blowing right now. It's a really nice night tonight, Roger.
It truly is. I'm glad the wind died down. By the way, Patrick, there's just something strange about watching the Knights this year. You know, year in and year out, they tend to be a competitive team. They usually either make the playoffs or come close to doing it. And when I'm watching them, it's not like they look inept. They appear to be playing better than the scoreboard would indicate. It's just a strange feel to the way the Knights have played this year.
Here's Smith with the snap. He's off to the left with a pass. It's complete. Again, yardage. And out of bounds goes Greg Green, and I think he lost the ball as he was going out of bounds, but I think he was already out of bounds.
Well, you know, I think he was still in bounds when it slipped out, but maybe that's just a little indicator that bounces are starting to go the Knights' way. Every time they do something well, it's just something happens immediately after.
Let me correct that. That was Abbas who made the catch. 9 and 8, pretty close to each other when you're looking for a distance. Here's a pass to the right. They try to the right this time, and the Travis Tigers were all over that as Landon Simmons got the pass, and within a step or two, he was swarmed by a bunch of red Tigers. And Roger, at some point, we need you to do your traditional description of the uniforms.
Oh, yes.
Each team has. Roger is an expert.
Well, I love to describe the ELKINS uniforms.
Yes, here's the snap. Smith's got it. Looking to the right side, fighting for that first down. He's going to be short by about 2 as he was wrapped up in there by number 26.
Well, unfortunately, Patrick, I've looked at our roster, and there is no 26.
Again, Roger.
Drives me nuts.
Does that happen about once every game?
These are fresh rosters that were brought to the game.
Yeah, I don't know what happens.
I don't know. I feel like you need to update your rosters.
One thing about the ELKINS, you're going to describe the ELKINS uniforms, but when I look at them, just quick glance, Roger.
I know what you're going to say.
They look like the UCLA Bruins.
Exactly, they do. Now, they have a little different shade of blue, and there is a timeout. We better take it with them, and we'll be right back and describe the uniforms.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firsttireandauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Tire and Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firsttireandauto.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
So here come the Elkins Knights in their road white jerseys with the Vegas gold pants and helmets.
Look, they
and
got
the UCLA striping on those royal blue numbers.
They got big Crawford in the backfield. And they handed it off to the, well, who did they hand it off to?
Torian Crawford, and
the
he made
big man. Did you get that first down, Roger?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he's a big defensive lineman, the senior. They don't have weight and height for these guys, but boy, well, let me just say this. He's running off the field, and the field is shaking.
Okay,
you know, I mean,
that's
a
good
fella.
indicator.
And I'm not saying that in a negative way. He's just a big guy, and he got the handoff. He was in the I formation, or he was behind the. Actually, it was the pistol formation. Handed it off to him, and he just rumbled for a couple of yards. First down. Oh, high snap! As I was trying to describe the last play, the high snap, and Smith could not corral it. But luckily for Elkins, Stewart was able to jump on it and save the day, but it's going to be second down and 12 yards.
And there you go. It's a microcosm of the Knights' year. They have a really good running play to get the first down as we end this first quarter. Torian Crawford gets it, and on the next play, they have a mishap with the spread formation snap. They lose a couple of yards, but there's something else I'm going to say about Torian Crawford when we return for the second quarter. 14-0 Travis over Elkins. We'll be back.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Back for the second quarter is 14-0 Travis over Elkins. And Patrick, there's something I did before the game, just spur of the moment. I never thought about this. I just felt moved to do it. I saw Torian Crawford, whom I have never actually met or spoken to. I've just watched him play many times. So he's wearing these sweats, and I can tell it's him because it says Torian Crawford across the front. And I just reached down and patted him on the shoulder, and I said, I'm going to miss you. You are an awesome player. And you can't do that with everybody, but every once in a while you see someone who's just been so great game in and game out. That's Torian Crawford.
Here's the Elkins Knights now with a second 12. Smith rolls to his right for a pass. Looks downfield. Got his man open, and it's a reception for Hart. Hart did a little down-and-out pass. He came in motion, and then he ended up doing a down-and-out pattern of about 7 yards, and they picked up 7. It'll be 3rd and 3. Nice pass from Isaiah Smith on that play. Now, did Crawford appreciate your compliment? Did he even know who you were?
He smiled,
Does he know who you are?
I don't know that he knows who I am. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't.
And it doesn't really matter. You made a positive comment.
But I did have my Vype Media shirt
perhaps
on.
He would
Maybe
know.
he read it.
Yes. Here are the Knights now, 3rd and 5 from their own 46. Isaiah Smith to the right. He passes it to his receiver who had it in his chest, but it was knocked out of there as Hart tried to make the next reception. And Roger, who knocked it out of there?
Matt Bennett.
Matt Bennett made the hit.
I think it was a perfectly timed hit. It was
definitely.
He might have gotten there a nanosecond before the ball arrived, but if so, it was just too close to really throw the flag.
Certainly not as blatant as the one we thought should have been a penalty earlier. At any rate, the Knights are punting. And it's going to be hard punting again. This is, I believe, his 3rd or 4th punt now. Here's a good snap. The kick. It's a pretty good one to the right side. It hits the ground and then out of bounds it goes as Ratliff kind of played with that ball a little bit. I think the coaches would have rather him just sort of get away from it, but luckily for the Tigers, it bounced off to the right and out of bounds, and the Tigers now have the ball at their own. Where are they marking that? About the 27-yard line?
Yes. And coincidentally, it was a 27-yard punt that went to the 27-yard line.
Well, a lot of coincidences going on here. And
I think not.
I think
Coincidence?
Not. I think
I
not.
think not.
Yes. I do know this, that the Tigers lead 14-0, and they're going to try to build on that lead with this next possession. Man in motion. Njoku has it. Singletary has it now on the handoff. Up the middle he goes. He's plowing his way, and he's still on his feet. Another big scrum. He's hard to get down. He's still moving. Can you believe this? That
I can
pile
believe it.
just kept on moving, and Singletary's showing a lot of strength here. As he had about maybe a 6-yard gain, and I think those last 3 yards was just sheer power and muscle. Got a little help from his friends again. I think those linemen kind of like those scrums where they can come in at the end and aid the runner for a few more yards. I'm sure they were very happy to do that in the end zone.
That's what offensive linemen like to do, is move the man across from them from point A to point B against his will. That's what they live for.
Yeah, point A to point B. Singletary cuts it to the outside, and he's going to get the first down. He's still moving over there. He's just hard to bring down as he keeps going. I would like to see how many yards he has after contact tonight.
Well, he really ran like a Tasmanian devil on that play. Just, you don't really know where to grab on. He's just a lot of fury and gyration.
And he had gotten the first down on the previous play, and he picks up another 7. And we're going to call it 2nd down and 3. Tigers have it. 10 minutes to play here in the first half, and a 14-0 lead, Tigers. Quick pass outside. It's caught and almost... Boy, I tell you, that thing was almost picked off as Ratliff was able to keep his concentration and make the catch.
There aren't too many things that the Knights have done consistently well this year. They do have several interceptions, I think, as a team. Maybe they have 7. A lot of them came early. Stephon Richards, who I believe is out with an injury, has 2, and Braden Thompson has 2 as well.
Right at the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 Tigers. Fake a handoff to Singletary. Now Njoku keeps it to the 50, to the 45. A gain of about 5 yards on the play. I'm not sure if that was a busted play or not, but it sure looked a little strange. And it's
Oswaldo Renfigo.
Renfigo. What do you think of that? You got that last first name kind of reminds me of Roy Oswalt.
Yes, and Renfigo does the place kicking for them.
Here's the 2nd and 5 play for the Tigers. Quick pass to the left. Open. Got him. Van Wyck. He's still on his feet. Now he's tackled at about the 33-yard line. Another first down for the Tigers. That's a first down, Roger.
Yes, it's a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com.
The Tigers are moving methodically down the field here right now.
They haven't been perfectly executing tonight, but they're just more consistent. They keep drives going, and the Knights end up punting.
2 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. Singletary in the backfield with Njoku. He's back to pass. Steps into one. Throws a man wide open at the 3-yard line, and it's Sissom. Oh, my goodness. There was nobody on him, Roger. It had to be a busted coverage. Njoku just lofted it up there. It's like you're in the backyard. Sissom just watched it guide into his hands, and he strolled into the end zone. Easy touchdown, Tigers.
He didn't need to speed up. He didn't need to slow down. There was no one around him. He didn't have to come back to the ball.
Yep, no pressure at all, and it's frustrating for the Knights, I'm sure, but for the Tigers, that was a beautiful play. And here's the extra point coming for Rubio. Snap is good. The kick is up, and it's good, but there's a penalty marker on the play. Roger, usually, well, let's see. Where did he throw
Probably
it? Now they're running off.
offsides,
They're running off the field, so it was offside. Elkins, 21-0 Tigers.
Hello, I'm Gary Horn with Horn Solutions. We agree with energy analysts that the energy market has stabilized. We anticipate significant merger and acquisition activity. Good resources are scarce. Horn Solutions is positioned to assist you in accounting, finance, IT, and supply chain. Our staff can assist you with outsourcing, or we can supply you with resources to join your staff. Visit hornsolutions.net for details.
Gary Horn is a highly successful businessman who has made a huge impact in people's lives, and he loves what he does for a living. That's a big reason why Gary Horn and Horn Solutions support Get a Great Gig. Get a Great Gig is a free job search consultation service that will help you find a job you love, whether it's to make more money or get personal fulfillment in the career of your choice. Email them at getagreatgig@gmail.com or on Twitter at getgreatgigs.
Rubio ready to kick again for the Tigers, who lead 21-0 after that 73-yard drive. And a final pass play to Sism for the touchdown. That ball is kicked and fielded at about the 15-yard line. He's running up the field. He's to the 20. This is Thomas, and he's able to get about the 26-yard line before he's tackled by the sea of red Tigers. Did you describe the Tiger uniforms tonight?
No, I did not.
I think we got the ELKINS uniforms well described, and what about the Tigers tonight?
So the Tigers, they give themselves the Ohio State colors. They are scarlet and gray. So they have scarlet pants and jerseys and wearing the silver helmets. And there is a penalty on the kickoff return, so the Knights continue to shoot themselves in the foot. Unfortunately for the Knights, who are having an uncharacteristically terrible year, these games just take on patterns where a mistake that might not seem that devastating, you do two or three of the smaller mistakes, and they seem to add up to bad field position and just turnovers at the wrong time, and you're down 21-0.
Yeah, one thing after another. It starts to snowball. They're at their own 10-yard line where they were close to the 30 just moments ago. Here's a handoff fake, but the quarterback has it, Smith, and he ran for about 3 yards. Pretty good fake, but he didn't fake out the left side of the Travis defense there, the cornerback, and I believe that's number 15, Matt Bennett, who came in on that tackle.
By the way, Patrick, 8.5 minutes to go before halftime, and we will have former Astros manager Bo Porter.
No way.
He's a very interesting guy.
Wow.
Yes. And
how'd you get it? Well, I wonder. That's interesting that you were able to get a hold of that guy.
Well, he's
tonight.
Nice enough to join us.
I
and
know.
He's down on Highway 6, about, maybe 4 or 5 miles south of Hall Stadium. He's got a great facility for baseball instruction.
Here's the pass to the left. It's caught. And it's our man Abbas again with the catch. Every time I say that name, I'm thinking of Abba.
Well, I was thinking that
put that in my head.
Somehow if the Knights could rally and pull off the upset, then you'd say, especially if Abbas was the hero, you'd say the winner takes it all.
The winner takes it all, of course. Oh, boy. I'm not keeping track tonight, but that's got to be about 4 or 5, Roger. Here's the Smith with the snap. He's running around, and he's going to get the first down. He ran to the right, looked like he might pitch it. Then he came back to the left, and he got the first down. He had those feet just chopping and moving, and he was able to find a gap in there, and he's able to pick up about 4 yards for the first down, and the Knights get that initial first down here in the on this possession. It's 7:15 to play here in the half.
Well, if they could get a touchdown out of this drive, they will get the ball to start the third quarter.
You are right on that. Smith, handoff. Stewart lowers his head. He's got about 1, maybe 2.
And my man, Thomason Olarun Femi, makes the tackle. And, Xfinity is the future of awesome. And as a sophomore, Olarun Femi has an awesome future for the Travis Tigers, along with the freshman Carmelo Ratliff.
Yep.
They just don't have a whole lot of players coming back.
Yeah,
so many seniors are graduating.
Maybe they got some pretty good stuff down in the sub-varsity. Here's the snap. Smith looking to pass, being rushed, gets it downfield. It's over the head of his receiver, and then almost intercepted by, looked like Njoku, and the pass was intended for our man, Abbas.
The ball almost ended up in the abyss of interception land.
Well, the abyss of interception land. That time Smith was pressured, and I think that affected the throw a little bit. He threw it high. And it's 3rd down and 8 for the ELKINS Knights with 6:35 to play. They trail 21-0 here in the first half as the Tigers have dominated the first half up to this point. Smith has the snap, looks left, still looking. Now he's being rushed. Runs to the right, has Stewart in the flat. He breaks a tackle. He's got a first down for the Elkins Knights. He didn't have the first down when he made the catch. He had to break a tackle, and he did. And he got about six or seven more yards after that and got the first down. That's another first down, Roger.
Yes. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. Like I said, yesterday was the first Thursday night of the season. We didn't have a broadcast, and I went and got my oil changed at the Eldridge Road location.
So you always have something going on, Roger.
Always.
Here's Stewart with the handoff. He's running down to the right side and tripped up right around the line of scrimmage. He might have got one.
Okay, when the Travis coaches exit the press box and go to the locker room, we got to grab one of them by the sleeve and say, who's number 26?
Oh, we really have to. I got to focus now, Roger. You're putting some pressure on me. Number 26, we got to get that number, the name there.
Yes.
We, as Roger had said, we don't have a name and number for 26 on the roster.
Well, he could be somewhere on the roster, but he might have changed
I'm sure
jersey
he's on the
numbers.
roster. It's just, these guys sometimes have to change jerseys for whatever reason. Here's Smith back to pass. Now he's rushed. Up the middle he goes, trying to scramble for some yardage, and he's got some. He's got about 3 yards on the scramble. Pretty good run by Smith after being pressured out of the pocket by the Tigers, and it's third down, and we're going to call it 6 here.
By the way, with that halftime interview with Bo Porter, you'd just be amazed with how many different pies is in Major League Baseball that he kind of has his finger in. He's very well connected. A lot of people would say, but he wasn't very good with the Astros, but he was with a team that could not have won no matter who their manager was.
Here's a man in motion at Sanders. Now Smith has the snap. He's just going to run to the right side. He's fighting for the first down. He's got it. He lowered his shoulder at about the 45, and he got about 3 yards after the hit. The hit came about the 45-yard line, short of the line, short of the first down marker. But he lowered that shoulder, and he was able to, with some determination and strength, fight for that first down. And Roger, they've come out of here from the 10 all the way now to the 48.
By the way, Christian Palouse plays defense most of the time. He's over there. I saw him really fired up to see Isaiah Smith get that first down.
Yeah, a little enthusiasm from the bench area. Here's Smith rolling to the right, being pressured. Downfield he goes, and it's going to be out of bounds. He just basically threw that away as his receiver, Hart, was pretty well covered by their defender, Bennett.
You know, Christian Palouse and Torian Crawford, a much smaller number of seniors for the Elkins Knights. They certainly expected their senior season to be much better than this one. And it just came off the rails very early on. But they are still fighting hard and playing hard. I know they're down 21-0, but those seniors are fired up. And I love to see what Christian Palouse is doing over there on the other sideline to encourage his teammates.
That's teamwork. Here's the inside pitch, and it's going to be a loss of about 10 yards. And number 40 came in there. Davis Ochoa. I'm so sorry.
Ochoa. See, I teach at a school where there are many more of those Latino last names, plus I lived in El Paso for 8.5 years. So I met many an Ochoa.
Looked like that was Caden Schmidt who
yes,
took that.
Caden Schmidt.
He got the ball. He was excited about it, and then he lost 7 yards, and he didn't get so excited after that. Here's the 3rd and 17, and there's a penalty marker, and it looks like it's going to be a penalty against the Knights. And, Roger, this, again, is exactly what you've been talking about. They drove it from the 10, three first downs, looking pretty good, and then all of a sudden you get this big loss, and then a penalty, and now you got third and what?
3rd and 23.
Well, let's see. I think it's going to be, 23 now, after the 5-yard march off. So they were at the 48. Now they're way back to the 35 in a, they're going to call it, see, they got 28 up on there for the amount of yards to go, but I think it's 23.
I guess our listeners have gotten used to when you're doing the play-by-play, but they hear me groan, they know that a team that is struggling has probably committed a pre-snap penalty, And here we go.
Just in case you
Third
don't know
and 23.
what that is. Here's a quick pass fake, and Smith has it up the middle. I'm not sure if he was supposed to fake that pass and then run, or if he just felt like his receiver wasn't open.
He probably felt like it was his best option, so he took off, and now it's time to punt.
He was going to go, look like to Green, with a quick pass to the right, and then he just brought it back down and ran for, well, it looked like he picked up about 6-7 yards, but well short of the first down. It's at 4th down and 16 for the Knights, and there's 2:25 to play here in the half. You can be rest assured that the Tigers will not sit on the ball here with 2 minutes left to go here in the half.
That's not Trey Sissom's style.
No way. Here's Hart now with the kick. They came in with a heavy rush, and he got it out of there, and the ball lands about the 28-yard line and rolls inside the 20. It ends up being a really good punt, despite about 8 Tigers coming in on that block attempt.
50-yard punt. How about that?
That's a great punt.
By the
Especially
way,
under the circumstance.
I just thought of something, and then I forgot what it was is before I said it.
Whoa, I hate that when that happens.
Yeah.
Njoku now brings his team to the line. 2 receivers left and 2 to the right.
Now I remember.
Okay, we're going to get it. I know we're going to get it. And 1:58 to play here in the half. And the Tigers up 21-0 now. Whistle, and I think we have a timeout.
Yeah, we have a timeout. Now, go ahead and tell you that I want to ask Coach Sissom why the Tigers do this. When the Knights were about to punt, the football was spotted on the near hash marks. And typically it just seems like if you're a single deep safety to return a punt, you kind of line up with the football. Well, for whatever reason, Carmelo Ratliff was over on the opposite hash mark. So I guess, it doesn't look like that big of a distance from here, but if you're down on the football field, you realize that, I don't know, that's a good 12, 13 yards where you're just kind of daring Jackson Hart to punt it away from you for some reason.
And
I'm not really sure why they do that, and I don't think that Travis is the only team I've seen doing that, just putting the punt returner kind of way off to a different side of the field.
I don't know if that has something to do with where they feel like he's going to kick it, or where, I don't know what that is. Maybe they've watched some film and a lot of the kicks go to the right. I don't really know. Here's Njoku waiting for the snap. He's back to pass. Looks down deep. He's got his man, but he overthrew him slightly. Looks like Robert Sims, had his man beat by a step or two, and the ball went over his head by about 3 yards.
That's another thing that has been difficult for the Knights. They're developing some young players in the secondary, but over the last several seasons, they've just had guys in the secondary who could run shoulder to shoulder. I see the flag down, and it looks like it's going to
late hit or something there.
Yeah, roughing the passer.
Yeah, they got 15 yards out of that.
And I'm sorry I was talking too much.
No,
but let's just presume it's roughing the passer.
Well, I think that's what he had indicated. And so the Tigers end up getting 15 yards out of that incompletion, and it's 1st and 10 now from the 33-yard line. Fake to Singletary. Past Van Wyck has it. He's to the 40, to the 45. He's still in bounds. The clock remains running. Well, actually, it'll be now. He went down a little funny that time.
Yeah, he was tackled awkwardly, and he's grabbing his left knee. Oh my goodness! Hope that's not serious.
He was fighting for extra yardage. He got the first down, and the finish of the tackle was a little awkward.
We'll take a break and be back. It's 21-0 Travis. 1:44 to go in the half.
When everything works together, it's a beautiful thing. With Xfinity, you get Wi-Fi faster than a gig to power a house full of devices, so your home becomes a symphony of activity. We start with Dad streaming cooking videos in the kitchen. Add a little gaming in the basement. Gorgeous. Now let's bring in some working from the couch. And finally, the sweet melody of Grandpa streaming his nature shows. Can your internet do that? And there goes Grandpa.
Power a house full of connected devices. Learn more about Wi-Fi speed faster than a gig and other fast speed options. Get started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months with the 1-year agreement. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 12/31/21. Restrictions apply. New Connect 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig internet and X-Fi gateway. Actual speeds vary.
When we get back and we get a sack from Crawford.
Surprise, surprise,
He
surprise.
came in
Torian
from
Crawford.
Yeah, he came in from behind, and Njoku was looking to the right, didn't even see him, and I don't know how he even hung on to the ball as Crawford really brought him to the ground, and loss of, looks like 6 yards. It'll be second down and 16. Clock running. It's under a minute to play first half. From their own 39, Tigers have it. Being rushed again. Njoku steps up, rolling to his right, still rolling, and now he just runs out of bounds. Nothing down there. He might have just thrown it away, but it wouldn't have made a difference because he got out of bounds right at the same line of scrimmage where he started. 3rd and 16 now for the Tigers.
By the way, one of the things that I'm going to talk to Bo Porter about, despite not really getting anywhere with the Astros back up to the 2014 season, he may not be done with his days as a manager.
Ooh, something to think about here. Might want to listen to find out. Here's Njoku. Back to pass, down the middle. He's got Fenwick. He's got the first down. He's inside the 40 to the 35, still going. And he's tackled at the 32, and I think the Tigers are calling timeout with 40 seconds to play here in the half. Let's take a break. 21.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstironauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstironauto.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Here we are back at Hall Stadium, 32-yard line, 40 seconds to play here in the half. The Tigers have driven down to the 32 of the Elkins Knights after that long pass on a 3rd and 16 to Van Wyck. Yielded the first down for him. Njoku has it, low snap, Singletary, handoff, right side, fighting for the 30. This time he's not going to get there as the tackle is made. The ball comes out, but he was definitely down on the play. And one of the fellas in there was Palouse.
Yes,
he was the
Palouse
cheerleader
made the
earlier
tackle.
and the defender now.
And you know something else that was kind of fun? The whistle was blowing, and I think the Knights were aware they couldn't scoop it and run it back. But just for fun, they did kind of pick it up and run a few steps. And Njoku was chasing. He was chasing Johanna Kanairu. And then Torian Crawford just went over there and gave Njoku a nice little love tap. Didn't knock him down, but he did kind of knock him off balance.
Just to remind him he's still around. And that play is going to be, they actually gave him a half a yard on that. I don't know how, but it'll be second down and 10. 32 seconds to play here in the first half.
And don't forget the Bo Porter interview at halftime. And also, Patrick, I guess in the third quarter, between plays, I'm going to try to kind of describe the playoff possibilities we have. It's not such a good idea to get down in the weeds on that when you're on radio as opposed to TV. You can't put a graphic up.
Right.
But there are so many possibilities involving our 2 games that we're going to have tomorrow.
Well, that'll be worth the description. Now the whistle blows as the Tigers are at the line of scrimmage. What do we got here?
Okay, we have an opportunity to tell everybody what games we have tomorrow.
Yeah, there we go.
It'll be James Kovaleski and myself for 2 games. First of all, you're having the undefeated in district Ridge Point Panthers at 5-0 taking on the 4-1 Bush Broncos. So that game was supposed to originally be played on Thursday, but it has to be played tomorrow because the Bush Broncos started playing George Ranch this past Saturday. Lightning delays forced them to suspend the game. They didn't finish until Monday. So that bumps back the Ridgepoint versus Bush game, which will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. James Kovaleski and I will have that one. And then in a nightcap, you have the Clements Rangers and the George Ranch Longhorns, both fighting for a playoff spot. So it's going to be two critical games that will affect the playoff picture. And Travis looks like they're going to be in good shape with only one loss heading into their matchup with Ridgepoint next week as they lead this game 21-0.
And they have it 2nd down and 10. Njoku back to pass being rushed. Rush to the right. Makes a pass on the run. It's going to be almost intercepted. It looked like it was going to be picked off there as he was in really good position.
His name was McGill.
Yes, Matthew McGill.
And he's now feeling ill because he should have caught that pass and got the interception to snuff out this Travis drive.
Robert Sims was the intended receiver, but the pass was not quite far enough for him. And McGill, like you said, had his hands on it. He might not have been able to land in bounds if he had caught it, but he certainly looked like he had a chance anyway. And let's see if that comes back to bite him here. Not taking advantage of that opportunity.
Look out for Okogwale, lined up on the right.
Here's the pass play. Njoku has time. Down the middle, he's got a man open. It's Sims in the end zone, and he makes the catch. Does he? Yes. The hands go up. What a catch. And, Roger, he was very well open as well on that play.
He was so wide open that I think Njoku, knowing that, just decided to take a little bit off of it.
Yes.
And he took maybe a little too much off of it, or maybe Sims was simply running a little bit too fast to come back for the ball.
Yeah,
but he did manage to get his elbows under it, made the catch, and here we are. The Knights are down by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was so open, and it was just nice and easy for Njoku. Here's the extra point attempt now. Sism waiting for the snap. He's got it. And the kick is up and good by Rubio. And it's 28-0 Tigers. 16 seconds to play here in the first half.
Well, we hope you heard the Travis cheerleaders talking trash during the countdown to kickoff show. They said that the Knights are going to get the claws all night. And it looks that way. It's 28-0. We'll take a really quick break and be back.
We see all you do to get work done, whether it's keeping your office clean or redesigning your space for 3 or 300. Our business is to keep business going. Buy online and pick up in store, or get free next business day shipping at Office Depot, Office Max, and OfficeDepot.com.
So here we are back where Travis leads at 28-0, and they'll try and kick it off deep and make sure the Knights can't pull off something in the last 16 seconds of this second quarter. And tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we will kick off the game between Ridgepoint and Bush. Panthers trying to stay undefeated in District 26A. And then at night, 6 o'clock kickoff, it is Clements against George Ranch. And nothing against the folks from George Ranch, but I think I can speak for James Kovaleski. We so badly want Clements to win that game. They have been so long out of the playoffs. They've been having such a great year. Hopefully they can finish it and get into the postseason.
Here's a kick from Rubio. It's going to sail over the head and then into the end zone for a touchback as Greg Green just let that ball go, and you just kind of wonder about letting the ball land in the field of play, just assuming it's going to go into the end zone. And that time it did, but we've seen balls stop up short of that goal line, and it gets a little precarious.
We certainly have. By the way, Patrick, we don't gamble here, but if we did, I would be willing to bet you that the Knights are just going to kneel on it here. I don't think they're going to go deep with 16 seconds to go. What do you say?
Seems like they should, and they look a little like they got a tight formation, but we'll see here. Smith takes the snap, and he does do exactly what Rogers said. Takes the knee. It's halftime, and it's 28-0 Tigers.
All right.
We'll be back with Bo Porter.
That's correct, and you'll be amazed at how inspiring he is, his great story, and he'll talk about his business. But, you know, the business of instructing people ages, I don't know, all the way from 4 until 18, and maybe even higher than that. There's so much more to Bo Porter than that, and we'll be back with him right after this.
Hi, this is Mariela and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Welcome to halftime on VypeFortBend.com. Our halftime score: Travis 28, Elkins nothing. And we like to bring you great halftime guests, and we think we got one for sure. Bo Porter, the former Houston Astros manager, who just a little bit south of Hall Stadium, just past Savannah Parkway in Brazoria County, has a fabulous baseball facility where kids of all ages are grooming themselves to play the great game of baseball. Bo, great to talk to you.
Well, I tell you, it's an honor and pleasure to be here and to sit down to have this conversation. I thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, I know that people are going to say, oh yeah, he was the Astros manager before A.J. Hinch, and that is true. But there's so much more to what you do. You're involved in so many things. You're on boards of people who are very high up in professional baseball. They're seeking your opinion about things. We could talk about it a long time, but what's kind of about a minute's worth of the things that you do besides running that facility where you're training young athletes?
Well, I'm still involved in Major League Baseball. I work for the Commissioner's Office. I'm the Director of Coaching Development, which allows me to stay connected to the game for one, but also to lend my experience and wisdom to the next generation of coaches. We look at the activations that we've been able to start over the last year or so, the MLB Draft League, the MLB Combines. I've had a hand in all of those activations, just wanting to spread the game of baseball throughout the country and really help our organizations with the onboarding of the talent that's coming into our game.
So I guess it's safe to say there's not a GM in the major leagues that you don't know. Is that pretty accurate?
I'm pretty connected, and I follow the game obviously with great interest. When you spend 29 years in the game, it's something that you always want to make sure that you make yourself available to the people that you have developed relationships with. I have organizations that call and just seek my opinion about different things. And it was good for me moving into the commissioner's office because now I'm not affiliated with one particular team. It actually gives me an opportunity to actually, communicate with all the teams.
Well, one of the things that you told me before we started doing this interview is that you love Houston. And I'm the same way. I'm a sucker for people that come here and stay here and say how much they love it, because the greater Houston area is not just where I was born and where I've spent most of my life. It's who I am. I kind of take it personally when our teams lose and things like that. I'm really into it, have a lot of community pride. I know a lot of people feel the same way, and you are one of them. Why?
Well, this is where I decided to make my home. I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, and after one off season of snow and sleet and just awful weather in the Northeast, I decided to move here to Houston full time, and it was arguably one of the best decisions I ever made. It gave me an opportunity to work out outdoors full time in the off season before I got ready to head to spring training. And it's the place where I called home, even though I coached and managed, for 18, 19 years elsewhere. It didn't matter. Houston was always my home base.
That sounds kind of familiar because one of the other famous sports figures that didn't get born in Houston, but he got here as quick as he could, Akeem Olajuwon, he was on a recruiting trip in St. John's. In New York. Yes. And he was on a payphone outside the airport when the wind is howling and it's sideways, freezing rain. It was awful. And he called someone at the University of Houston and said, "What's the temperature there?" And he said, the person on the other end said, "It's 75 degrees. And he said, "I'll be on the next plane." And the rest is history. Akeem Olajuwon comes to Houston, loves the weather, loves everything about it, becomes a Cougar and a Rocket, and made us so proud. So that's another great story. There are a lot of those.
Yes, so thank God for bad weather on the East Coast.
Yeah, it can happen. It's amazing how the weather determines so many things, like how many people come to your funeral and stuff like that. So we're talking with Bo Porter, the former Astros manager, and we're going to take a break and come back and talk about what it was like to be with the Astros and leading the organization when the success had not quite come yet. The roots had gone down and it was coming, but not a lot of people knew about it. More with Bo Porter on VypeFortBend.com. We'll be back on our halftime show in just a moment.
What is Vype Live? Vype Live is one of the largest and most respected broadcast and live stream networks in the state of Texas. Vype Live broadcasts any sport you can think of for youngsters of any age, from Pee Wee and Pop Warner to high school, club, college, semi-pro, and beyond. We also broadcast plenty of academic, fine arts, and community-related events as well, and now as partners with Flow Sports. Email us at info@vypemedia.com to find out more. Vype Live. We bring your teams to you.
Hello, I'm Gary Horn with Horn Solutions. We agree with energy analysts that the energy market has stabilized. We anticipate significant merger and acquisition activity. Good resources are scarce. Horn Solutions is positioned to assist you in accounting, finance, IT, and supply chain. Our staff can assist you with outsourcing, or we can supply you with resources to join your staff. Visit hornsolutions.net for details.
Gary Horn is a highly successful businessman who has made a huge impact in people's lives, and he loves what he does for a living. That's a big reason why Gary Horn and Horn Solutions support Get a Great Gig. Get a Great Gig is a free job search consultation service that will help you find a job you love, whether it's to make more money or get personal fulfillment in the career of your choice. Email them at getagreatgig@gmail.com or on Twitter at getgreatgigs.
Welcome back to our halftime show, and our guest is Bo Porter. He used to be the Astros manager before A.J. Hinch took over. His final season with the Astros was in 2014. I went to a lot of those Astros games with my son, who's now 19, and it didn't matter that the team was not in first place. We loved our team. And so what is the thing that makes you proud? People might say, wait a minute, they didn't have winning seasons. But I know you're proud of what you accomplished when you were leading the organization in the dugout.
Yes, I think anytime you're hired to do a job, the expectation of the ball club, kind of hinges on where the organization is at. And when you look at, my tenure with the Houston Astros, the organization, was going through a complete rebuild. And when you go through a rebuild, one, it's a tear down, and you're not going to invest in the talent on the field because at that time you're trying to evaluate players to figure out who's going to actually be around when we are ready to put a championship team on the field. But when you look at the body of work, to me, the success can be found in, are you leaving the organization better than it was when you arrived? And that's the one thing that I can hang my hat on. Our staff did a tremendous job of laying the foundation of what it takes to be a champion. And I think when you look at the team today, the fruits of that labor is the Jose Altuves, the Marwin Gonzalez, the Carlos Correas, the George Springers, the Dallas Keikos, the Jason Castros, all of those guys that were there during those lean years. That development actually set the stage for what could be, arguably called the team of the decade.
Well, Bo, I consider myself a layman. I broadcast sports. I talk to as many people as I can that I think are very wise and know a lot, so I can at least talk intelligently about the various sports that we cover on VypeFortBend.com. But this is just my opinion. The state that the Astros were in, it didn't matter how great the manager was, the Hall of Fame manager, anyone that you would like to name. I just don't think they could have turned the Astros into a champion at that point with what they had as far as personnel at the major league level. Do you agree with that?
Well, it's very difficult because when you look at Major League Baseball, it's a talent-driven league. You can look at the two teams that's in the World Series right now. They're in the World Series because they have talented baseball players. And when you look at talent base and you look at organizations every offseason, they make a decision on where they're at as an organization. Are we in a window? When I mean a window, a championship window, or are we behind the pack and need to make good financial decisions as to how we allocate our resources? So I would say, like, now that I've actually managed, I've moved into the front office, I've had experience with the scouting department, I've had experience with player development, I've had experience broadcasting. So all of the things that I've been able to do since managing the Astros actually has made me more well-rounded as it relates to the game itself, working with the commissioner's office. So looking through the lens that I look through now, I completely understand why we had to do what we had to do when I was managing the Astros. But the competitive side of anybody that's in that position, you want to win. And you want to have every opportunity to win. But when you look at the organization and where it was at, it just wasn't that time. So I have to basically accept that. But it did not stop me from showing up to the park each and every day and giving every player that was in that clubhouse 100% each and every day.
And I don't know if it was Mr. Crane who delivered the news or it might have been Jeff Luno, but when you found out you weren't going to continue as the Astros manager, did it come as a surprise? Did you think you might get a chance to continue?
Well, in this job, what you know for sure is that as a major league manager, you're only being hired to be fired. It's the nature of the business, and there was some tension within the organization. I felt like we were going to be able to move beyond it. The decision was made not to move beyond it, and I hold my head up high to the things in which we were able to accomplish and things that took place, the players and how they developed. And to this day, Jeff and Jim Crane, we're cordial to each other. I don't harbor any bad feelings. I thank them for the opportunity that they gave me to manage Major League Baseball. There's only 30 Major League teams. And to be able to sit here and be, one of the people that can hold your hand up and say, I managed a Major League Baseball team, that's something to be proud of.
Well, I'm just kind of thinking aloud here. I mean, I hope the Astros win, and, they're in the midst of the World Series as we speak. So if the great Dusty Baker, someone everyone loves and admires, is able to get that one thing that he has not accomplished, he's accomplished everything else as a baseball manager. If he can make the Astros world champions, he's at age 72. He might be ready to say, I think I've done this long enough. I'm just thinking it would be wonderful if you at least got a shot to talk about what you could do for the Astros and maybe convince Mr. Crane and Mr. Click that you could be in the dugout again and take them to another World Series.
Well, I would cherish that opportunity if it came along. I want to touch on a couple of things that you said. One, I want to touch on Dusty Baker, and because he's a mentor of mine and has played a major role in my development, I want nothing more than for Dusty Baker to get his chip. But I will say this, Dusty Baker is a Hall of Famer. Whether he gets the chip or not, he's a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I don't even think Dusty Baker needed this run that he's had with the Astros to be a Hall of Famer. I thought he was a Hall of Famer after he left the Washington Nationals. So when you look at his body of work and what he's been able to do in the game, I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. And to your other question about my interest level, if the job was to come open, I'll say this. What I was able to prove my first time managing with the Astros was that I can take a team that's in transition and a rebuild, and I can lay a foundation that can lead that team toward a championship, even though I didn't get an opportunity to actually see it all the way through. I have all the confidence in my world and all the confidence in the world to actually take a team that's in a rebuild, and I know that I can lay a foundation that would be one that can lead that team to a championship. I have not had the opportunity to take a team that is expected to win and to see what I can do with a roster that's expected to win. But that is a challenge that I look forward to one day.
I'd be very happy to see you get that chance. Now, before we let you go, I want you to talk about Bo Porter's Future All-Stars Baseball Development Academy, this facility on Highway 6, south of Hall Stadium. You get into Brazoria County. It's just past Savannah Parkway. It was not built specially for you, but it seems like an ideal place. What goes on at that academy?
Well, we're developing young men. I think that the biggest thing I can say about our academy is that it's more than baseball. Baseball is just a hook. I tell all of our parents, all of our kids, that baseball is the common denominator that brings us all together. But what we are really doing is we're preparing kids for the biggest game they will ever play in their life, which is the game of life. And when they walk through the door, I tell them my biggest concern is that you are a man when you walk out the door. So when you look at the number of kids in which we're able to impact, it's been phenomenal since opening in April. Our kids are developing. They have completely, bought into the holistic approach in which we go about development. It's strength and conditioning. It's baseball fundamentals. I tell all of our kids all the time, baseball is a skilled repetition sport, and it's great for us because we have excellent coaches. We run, it's like a major league spring training each and every last one of their practices. So they are actually getting, the tutelage that it takes to harness all of their skills. So I'm just excited about the future of all of these kids and just looking forward to how baseball is going to be able to actually help impact them as they move forward in life.
What you just said is so beautiful, and it's the reason that when I was about 3 feet tall, I worshiped high school athletes, and I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be one. I enjoyed being one. I enjoyed having sons who played in high school athletics. So thank you for everything you're doing to mold young men and young women into great athletes, but not just great athletes, well-rounded individuals who have that spiritual guidance. They have integrity, morality. There's not too much better in this world these days than active dads who are leading kids and helping them be better and be better than they thought they could be.
Yes, it's a great opportunity to pay your blessings forward. I sat down one day and, this is something that has always been a passion of mine, and I was just thinking about all of my experiences and asked myself the question, like, what are you going to do with all of this experience? What are you going to do with the resources and the network that you have? And it just made all the sense in the world to pour it back into generations to come.
All right. Bo Porter, it's been a real pleasure. Thanks for being with us, and hope that you will become a fan of VypeFortBend.com. We try to shine the spotlight on all these kids who are striving and representing their school and their community so well.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm already a fan of Vype.
That sounds great. We'll be back with more on VypeFortBend.com right after this break.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
Welcome back to halftime on VypeFortBend.com, your broadcast home for Fort Bend County High School sports. And it's a great opportunity here to talk to Bryce Kennard. He's with Comcast, the External Affairs Manager, and they have a great product that is so important to families these days called Internet Essentials. First of all, welcome in, Bryce.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Well, the world has changed so much in about a year and a half, and even though so many things are getting back to normal, and that includes school. You know, most every district is doing in-person school now in the state of Texas, but it is still critical for families to have good internet service. It's all about school assignments, work things that the adults in the home do. What does Internet Essentials make it possible for some people, you know, who might not have thought they could afford good Wi-Fi and internet?
That's such a good question. So Comcast has been working in the digital equity space for more than 10 years. The Internet Essentials program is part of our wraparound strategy to support students and households who maybe have not had internet for the first time at all. And so if you're looking to get an affordable option, the Internet Essentials is your best option.
I will give you a couple of chances, in fact, probably several chances to say this, but is there a particular website or phone number that people should call when they hear you talking about Internet Essentials and they hear how great it is? Where should they go if they are interested?
Okay, so the Internet Essentials program has 3 pillars. There's the broadband connection. You've got access to purchase a laptop for a great price, and you have access to free digital literacy training classes. And all anyone has to do to get connected is visit internetessentials.com.
That's easy to remember, internetessentials.com. So let's talk about some anecdotal type things where it might have happened to you. It's probably happened to someone you know where maybe they just went through incredible stress because they weren't able to, I don't know, turn something in at the right time, or they weren't able to get the proper quality of something. Is there some kind of anecdotal thing you can describe where Internet Essentials could certainly come to the rescue and prevent that type of situation?
Absolutely. Right now with the pandemic hopefully closing and coming to an end, but right now a lot of families are struggling to have a reliable internet connection, and not just the student, but really the parents and anyone that's in the household. So if you got bills to take care of, if you got medical records you're trying to access and upload, having a strong in-home connection is so valuable right now, and it's very important.
All right, we're talking with Bryce Kennard. He's with Comcast, the External Affairs Manager, and he knows all about Internet Essentials, and sometimes that having the right kind of Wi-Fi service and the right kind of connectivity in your home can be a cost situation. Well, until now. In fact, this is a great product. It's not brand new because Comcast introduced it how long ago?
About 10 years ago. We introduced the Internet Essentials program, really has a way to close the digital divide. We have been working with a number of school districts, a number of nonprofit organizations to make sure that there are no challenges when people are trying to get connected to the internet at home.
Well, you probably didn't know that I was going to do this, but I just want to ask you a couple of questions. So you are a Houston guy, which is something we love, Greater Houston. We're all very proud of it. And you went to Aldine Eisenhower. So what do you remember? I don't know whether you took part in athletics or were just a fan rooting for the teams that represented your school. What are a couple of memories for you?
First of all, I love being a high school student in Houston. There's such a fantastic culture and shared kind of experience that we all love. I remember, of course, the football game, right? I remember the cheerleaders, I remember the football players, and I just remember, most importantly, the energy and all the excitement that I had from rooting for my hometown team, especially I went to Eisenhower, but I rooted for all kind of Houston football teams, so that's still the same case today.
Did you pull any pranks on anybody from a rival school?
I would like to say that I did. In my head I did, but no physical pranks.
Well, I can tell you about something that didn't have anything to do with Aldine Eisenhower, but I went to McCullough, which became the Woodlands. You've heard of McCullough when it was McCullough?
Yes, I have.
Oh, then you're older than you look, I guess. So we were playing Klein on their homecoming game. We were in our first year as varsity, and at the time, this is how long ago it was, Klein was the only school in Klein ISD. Klein Oak hadn't even been built, and Jim Parsons, who's an alum of Klein Oak, he must have been, 4 or something at the time. You do?
Yeah, I know of Jim, of course, but yeah, I do. I know that.
You know him personally?
I know that name, and I know the personality.
Okay.
You know how some people are just infamous?
Yeah, I know. I got kind of excited there because I thought you could maybe help me get a halftime interview with Jim Parsons, the Big Bang Theory guy. Okay, but never mind. Unless you do meet him, please give him my card. Anyway.
If I do, I've got you covered, buddy.
Okay, we've kind of gone down a rabbit hole, but that's okay. We're visiting with Bryce Kennard of Comcast, and he is the expert on Internet Essentials. But the prank was some drafting students, guys who wanted to be architects, none of whom were football players, broke into Klein Memorial Stadium, which at the time had a grass field. Well, they put on the field the most perfect Super Bowl quality logo because we were McCullough. Big M, then in the middle a very small C, and then a very large block C on the right. And they made a logo on the field that went from 40-yard line to 40-yard line and hash mark to hash mark. It was perfect. And when dawn broke on that Friday morning when we were to play Klein that Friday night, they discovered there was a problem in the middle of the field, but they couldn't get rid of it. They couldn't hose it down. It would have become a swamp there at the 50-yard line in the middle of the field. So we played Klein with our logo in the middle of their field, and they were pretty PO'd. I have to tell you, we lost 50-6.
That's one for the history books. Oh, that's fantastic. It's always nice to kind of experience and also kind of get to do some pranks, as long as they're fun.
Okay, but you don't have one to top the one that I told about?
No, I don't. That's a pretty good one, actually.
Well, thank you. And I'm kind of glad you don't have one to top it because we're kind of running out of time. We're about to start the third quarter. So, Bryce Kennard, thank you so much for being with us. And we want people to know that Internet Essentials is a great option for them. It's not going to cost a lot because if people are at an economic disadvantage, that will certainly qualify them, and Comcast, being a great corporate citizen, is going to help them out. And one more time, give all the contact information, which doesn't take very long.
It's really easy. For more information, visit InternetEssentials.com.
All right. Thanks very much for being with us, Bryce. We appreciate it very much, and thank you so much for everything that Comcast does. They are our flagship sponsor. We are able to bring more than 100 broadcasted games to the people in Fort Bend County, thanks to your great support, and we know that you're reaching a lot of customers. So it benefits us, but we know it benefits you.
Oh, thank you for that. We're happy to support.
All right, we'll be back and start the third quarter here on Vype, FortBend.com. Thank you again, Bryce Kennard. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Hi, this is Mariela and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
All right, we're back, but only for a couple of minutes. The thing is, we're a little surprised. The halftime proceedings continue here on VypeFortBend.com. And so, as fate would have it, there's one other thing that Bryce Kennard of Comcast needs to tell us about Internet Essentials.
We are so excited to announce that we have been awarded an opportunity to partner with a Texas education agency. They're trying to get every student in Texas connected to broadband. And so, you could get free internet at home from the state, but we'd love to share with your audience that they can visit TEAConnectTexas.com to learn more, to make sure that they can find out all they need to know to get affordable internet at their home.
So that is TEAConnectTexas.org. Am I right? I'm sorry, I said it wrong. I shouldn't have even said it. Let you say it one more time. You're the pro.
TEAConnectTexas.com.
All right. So, now we know that we'll be back with the third quarter in just a moment. Thank you very much, Bryce Kennard. Thank you, Comcast. And thank you for listening to your broadcast home for Fort Bend County Sports. We'll be right back. Really, this time. We'll be right back.
When everything works together, it's a beautiful thing. With Xfinity, you get Wi-Fi faster than a gig to power a house full of devices, so your home becomes a symphony of activity. We start with Dad streaming cooking videos in the kitchen. Add a little gaming in the basement. Gorgeous. Now let's bring in some working from the couch. And finally, the sweet melody of Grandpa streaming his nature shows. Can your internet do that? And there goes Grandpa.
Power a house full of connected devices. Learn more about Wi-Fi speed faster than a gig and other fast speed options. Get started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year agreement. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 12/31/21. Restrictions apply. New Connect 50 megabits per second Internet customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig Internet and Xfi Gateway. Actual speeds vary.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstireauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstireauto.com.
Okay, everybody, so as the players try to take the field, the marching band refused to yield until about a minute ago. So we ran ran out of time on the scoreboard clock, but we're not. Now the Travis Tigers are coming onto the field as you hear their fans cheering for them in the background. So this will be a good time, Patrick, to give some scores.
Well, I knew you would come through with some scores, Roger.
Well, I want to start off with 2 Clash of the Titan killer games.
Let's hear it.
In Class 6A, you have number 5 ranked Atascocita and number 8 ranked North Shore. North Shore with only 1 loss on the year, I believe. It is 14-14 at the half.
As you would expect, right?
Yeah,
what a
wow.
game that must be.
What a game. You know, if
both those teams are both obviously playoff bound, and it's a little tune-up, I guess, for both teams.
Playoff favorites. So
yeah,
if we're talking, if the Ridgepoint Panthers or the Travis Tigers, both of whom are going to be, I presume, in the big school division, the Class 6A Division I, if they are going to go all the way and fulfill their aspirations, then they're going to have to go through either Atascocita or North Shore or both. And it's Region 3 is just very, very deep, very, very talented. It's going to be very tough to get through. But right now it's Atascocita and North Shore, 14 all at the half. Okay, in Class 5A Division I, and this is the one that the Hightower Hurricanes are in, Peyto and Manville are playing each other tonight at Freedom Field, 7-7 at the half. So those 2
that's
games,
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, Atascocita North Shore tied at the half, and Peyto and Manville tied at the half, and Peyto ranked number 5 in the state. I think they could go all the way. Oh, we're playing football.
Yeah,
go ahead, Patrick.
Rubio's got it all teed up, Roger, and they're going to kick left to right here. A little wind to his back, but not much of a wind going on right now. Thompson has it at the 3-yard line, to the 15. Couldn't quite get to the 20 when a good tackle by one of those Tigers down there, red jerseyed and red pants. And that's number 5, Lake Washington, making his presence felt out there. Ball now be marked at they're going to mark it right at the 20. It looked like he was a little short of the 20, but they'll start 1st and 10 on their own 20. Will the Elkins Knights? They had a tough first half, Roger. They got a few first downs, but they could not quite sustain things. They stubbed their toe a few times, penalty-wise, mistakes, and so on.
Good play here and there, and just couldn't finish.
Here's Smith taking that snap. To the right goes the ball with the pitch to Height. And he's broken to the 25, to the 30, all the way to the 40, and past the 40 to about the 41. He was running hard there. I was looking down for his name, Jacoby Height.
Yeah,
got his first carry of the game, Roger.
Yes, it's we have seen him before in some other games, and Height has really shown us some pretty good running ability. But it looks like maybe in the first half they stuck with one guy, that being Avion Stewart, and now it's Height.
Height is he's back there again, a pistol formation behind the quarterback. Height's got it. He's all the way to the 45, to the 46, 47. He's really running hard here. He's got 2 really solid gains, a 22-yarder, and now looks like about a 6-yard gain. They Gary. They found something on the right side here early in the second half.
Yeah, the height report is very good early on.
Yeah. Well, what do you think his height is, by the way?
He's not very big. He looks like he's one of those guys that runs heavy, but no, he is definitely not very tall. And now I see that Stewart is back in, and the pistol.
Avion Stewart was the man who ran most of the carries in the first half. He gets the handoff here, tries the left side. He's got some yardage, and he's past the midfield stripe, and he's into Tiger territory, and it's back-to-back first downs for the Elkins Knights.
Yeah, that's a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. 4 great locations: Greatwood, Eldridge Road in Sugar Land, First Colony, and also Katy Cinco Ranch. They're open Monday through Saturday.
Palouse comes in with the play, and he's playing at the left tight end spot now. Hand off up the middle, Stewart. He's finding some more room, and he's got about 5, and they come out with some energy here to the Elkins Knights. They marched from the 20 all the way to Tiger territory to about the 43 now, and it's second down and 6.
Maybe you noticed on that play, it kind of looked like Stewart kind of dropped his head like he was expecting contact right at the line of scrimmage, and one of his guys just plowed a tackler out of the way, and all of a sudden he had a 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, in the first half there was nothing up the middle for the Knights, and maybe he was expecting to be hit early. Here's Smith back to pass down the middle. He's got a man there, but is it intercepted? Nope, it was knocked down, but he was well covered. He was blanketed by 2 of the Tiger defenders, and then there was a couple of them not too far away from them. Just not sure what Isaiah Smith saw there. There was not a whole lot of daylight for his receiver there, and he put it in there anyway. Almost got it picked off.
So 2 first downs.
And the receiver was Sanders, by the way.
Okay, good run on first down. Then the incomplete pass, and now it's 3rd and 6. And I really hope that they can protect Isaiah Smith and he can have a clean pocket and throw the ball down the field. But before they do it, they're going to call a timeout. And we'll take a timeout with them. We'll be back on VypeFortBend.com.
Hi, this is Mariela and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Some other scores to talk to you about, in addition to the ones we gave you. Atascocita and North Shore tied up at halftime. Peyto and Manville tied up at halftime. The Marshall Buffs leading Houston Sterling 28-0 with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. And the Sterling Raiders are actually pretty good. They beat Willow Ridge. I think Willow Ridge might miss the playoffs this year because they could not beat the Houston Sterling Raiders.
3rd and 6 for the Knights. Smith back to pass, rolls to his left, throws back to his right, incomplete, as Stewart had it in his hands and he just couldn't hang on. They had a little, they were kind of a misdirection. They were going to the left as if they were going to do something to the left. Smith spun back to his right, made a nice pass to Stewart, who just could not hang on. It was pretty well defended by the Tigers. He might have had a hard time getting that first down had he caught it, but that brings up 3rd and 6 now for the Elkins Knights. They've driven it from the 20. They're down by 28 here in the third quarter, and they're just going to go for it here from the 44-yard line of the Tigers. 4th and 6. Big play for the Knights. Fake handoff. Stewart rolls to his right, looks downfield, still looking, makes a nice pass, and it's complete inside the 30-yard line. That's Jackson Hart. He found Hart right at the 30, and I think they're going to mark it at the 29. Big play for they're going to mark it right at the 30. And it's a big first down for the Knights as they've marched it, 50 yards here so far in this third quarter. From the 20 all the way to the 30 of the Tigers. And it's 1st and 10. Smith has the Snap again, fakes to the right. Now he throws back to the left. He's got his man Stewart. 15, 10, 5, touchdown! That was a really nice play. He looked to the right. He faked it to Smith originally. Then he rolled to his right. And then he went back to Stewart, who was wide open. There was nobody there, Roger.
And amazing closing speed. Parker Reed was chasing him down, and he got there. But then Stewart just gave him a stiff arm that got him free inside the 5, and he walked in for the touchdown. So the Knights are on the board.
That was an impressive drive, 80 yards, and I guess about 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
Yes, an Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive, 80 yards in 7 plays. And the extra point kick is no good. It's deflected at the line. And
yes,
Oswaldo Renfigo was partially blocked as he kicked the ball, and it hit an upright and bounced back. So 28-6 is our new score on VypeFortBend.com. We'll be right back.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstireauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstireauto.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Okay, Patrick's going to tell you about something, and I blew it. I am the reason that you didn't get to hear it described. Go ahead, Patrick.
Well, the Elkins Knights kicked a little bloop kick that bounced on the ground, and one of the Tigers was about ready to field it, and one of the Knights batted it away from him and toward the end zone, and the Knights recovered it, but the referee is on the field. They're talking about the play, and I don't see any penalty markers on the play. It should be the Elkins Knights football here, and this could change the whole complexion of the game after they came off the halftime with an 80-yard drive and possibly get the ball back. But now, what am I seeing here? Both teams are kind of in limbo here. The Tigers are. Was there an offside on the kick? Maybe, I don't know. Looks like the kickoff team is coming back out. Roger, you probably are as perplexed as I am here.
Yes, I am. I am at a loss because I don't see a penalty flag. It looks like they set up the chains as if the Knights are going to possess the football. Now the Knights kickoff team is exiting the field, and the officials are still conferencing.
Now the Tigers are staying out there as if they're going to receive another kick, but I don't know how this is such a long conversation.
Okay,
It'd be really nice if the microphone works right now, huh?
Okay, I'm going to turn it up if he's going to talk to us. Here we go. Shh.
Oh, boy. That's a tough break, Roger. That's one of those things that you had mentioned about earlier, Roger. They're just so close at times, and they had a big play opportunity there, but somebody was offside.
Now I'm thinking about a singer, the great James Ingram. Just once, can we figure out what we keep doing wrong? Why the magic never lasts for long? What are we doing wrong?
So, Roger, I don't know if you all knew this or not, but he does have a side career.
No, that's not a career.
In singing.
Don't be silly.
Well, it's our man Abbas is kicking here, Roger. He must have kicked that last one. I didn't really realize he kicked it. It was a short pop-up kick that was trouble for the Tigers that was batted away from the would-be receiver. Here's the same type of kick. Now A fair catch is called for smartly that time to avoid any further difficulties for the Tigers, and that fair catch appears to be caught by Coleman Atkins.
And no flags, so we'll just resume running offensive plays.
I think Coach Sissom, or one of the coaches down there, instructed his team, any kind of pop-up kick like that again, automatic fair catch. And he had his hand up quick that time, and now the Tigers with a 28-6 lead. First time with the ball the second half. Elkins is offside, it looks like. Free play, downfield he goes! He's got Van Wyck, and he just overthrew him. Oh, mackerel. He was streaking down a sideline. It looked like a pretty good throw, just out of the reach of Van Wyck. There's offside against Elkins, and it was a free play, but they wanted the big one, and almost got it again. Njoku really does have a nice arm, Roger. He gets that ball out of there, and those long passes tonight have been spirals, lofted very nicely.
That's a beautiful ball in the air.
First and 5 now for the Tigers. Elkins jumping around on the line, trying to force the Tigers to maybe flinch. Here's the snap. Singletary has it. He's got the 50, 45, inside the 45, and he's brought down by about 4 or 5 of the Knights after the whistle blows finally, and he picked up a good 8 yards for the first down, and the Tigers are in Elkins territory.
Go ahead. Patrick, I want you to keep an eye open for something when we do a Travis game. There's someone I might want to interview who's a current athlete.
Here's the snap. Singletary has it again. Left side now to the 40, 35, 30, and he's got another first down. He picks up 15 yards that time to the 28. A couple of nice runs from Singletary.
It's really amazing how quickly Singletary can get up to that highest gear. It only takes him 2 or 3 steps, and he's just, he looks like his life depends on staying on his feet. He's just very determined.
And I have seen much improvement from him this year as the season has gone on. 1st and 10 from the 28. Njoku back to pass. Left side. He's looking to the left. He's got Van Wyck, and he makes the leaping catch at the 15. Now they're going to mark it at the 14-yard line. Another first down. 14-yard pickup. And that was a great catch by Van Wyck. He had to go high in the air to make the catch. He came down, and he was knocked out of bounds right away, but not before he got that first down. And the Tigers are answering quickly here to the Elkins touchdown to start the third quarter. Njoku hands it off to, no, he fakes it. He's got it. He's at the 10. 5, touchdown! And it looked like he might have been down just before the line, but I think he spun in and sort of sailed into the end zone for a 14-yard run from Njoku. He faked it to Singletary and found the right side to his liking. The last couple of yards, he fought hard to the end zone and was able to kind of fight through a tackle to finally end up into the end zone. And the Tigers didn't take them long to make something happen and come back after the touchdown by the Elkins Knights. Here's the extra point now. Rubio is going to do it. Sisson's got the snap. Lays it down there nicely. It's up and good. It's score now is 35-6. The Tigers lead.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
You are the master of the multitask. And we mean everything. We take care of you, so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max. Taking care of business.
All right, Patrick, since we're back to a 35-6 lead, that's an a 4-touchdown lead. I'll probably drop in a few scores and the implications they have for teams that we care about.
Yeah, you were talking in the first half about trying to maybe sort out a little bit of the playoff picture here, and Rubio's got the ball teed up with Green back for Elkins along with Thompson. This ball is going to be a short kick, though, fielded at the 25-yard line by Jackson Hart, and he fair caught it at the 25.
Okay, so let's look at this. We know that Ridgepoint at 5-0 has already clinched its playoff spot. They have a tough game tomorrow against Bush. They have a game against Travis next week. But Ridgepoint is going to be in the playoffs. Bush is at 4-1 going into their matchup tomorrow with Ridgepoint. Travis is, they've only lost one district game. So you can basically count on Ridgepoint, Bush, and Travis to get into the playoffs. There are two teams fighting for the one remaining spot. Clements and George Ranch both at 3-2.
Here's a reverse now. It's a flea flicker. Smith's got it, and he's being tracked down. He's trying to make the pass, and he passes it out of bounds. It was a reverse, like a double reverse, and a flip back to Smith, who was able to get the ball downfield, but he was being harassed by Praise. Say it again for me, Roger.
I'm sorry.
Dazzolati?
Hold on.
Oh, boy.
I was busy attending to some technical things. DeSaulu.
I'm sorry about that. Praise.
Rhymes with nothing I know. DeSaulu.
DeSaulu. Now there's a penalty marker, and I think we had, what do they call that? Loss of down. He couldn't have been throwing it away. They didn't call that intentional grounding, did they? Because it's a loss of down. What else would give you a loss of down?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, he actually threw the ball to a teammate
who
was just one step out of bounds.
Looked like he was right there. Maybe I misunderstood.
Maybe he stepped out before he threw it.
Maybe that's it.
That would explain it.
Here is the handoff. Height. And he couldn't get the line of scrimmage that time as the Knights, the Tigers were roaring hard off the line of scrimmage that time for a 1-yard loss, and now all of a sudden it's 3rd and 21 for the Knights. They just can't seem to keep things going for themselves. 7.5 to play here in the third quarter with the Tigers leading 35-6. Smith back to pass with time. Now he's flushed, rolling to his left, trying to pass it while he's rolling to his left in a very difficult pass. He's knocked down as he makes the pass. He was trying to get it over there to Jackson Hart. And that was...
yes, he was under duress from Davis Ochoa and Joseph Kekpas.
Yeah, they were rushing hard. He had time early in the snap there, or in the play, and then he ran out of time. Good defense by the defensive backs for the Tigers. All right, now, Roger, we got number 13 deep for the Tigers. Number 13, and there's a reason why I'm asking you to tell us who that is. John?
That's John Okogwali.
Okogwali. Here's Hart.
Okogwali.
Right at his goal line. He's going to receive that snap. He gets it off low, kind of a wobbler. Lands on the 40 and rolls out of bounds at the 43, and that is the Elkins 43. So the Tigers are going to be 1st and 10 in excellent field position with a 35-6 lead already.
By the way, this past weekend was pretty crazy. We had lightning delays.
Yes.
George Ranch. Oh, yeah, George Ranch and Bush started a game here at Hall Stadium in the afternoon, but lightning came and they had to suspend it until Monday.
Yep.
Bush was leading 7-0 with 4.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Here's the 1st and 10 play. Njoku waits for the snap. He's going to pass, looking left. Now back to the right. He's flushed out of the pocket. He trips and he's tackled and sacked by Crawford.
Torian Crawford, I think he's certainly my most favorite Elkins Knight this year. I don't know. Maybe he's my favorite player in District 6A, District 26A. He's just awesome. He's making great plays, game in, game out, for a team that's having a lousy year. It's just really amazing how he stands out
That was
much.
An 11-yard loss on that play, and I'll say something about that play in just a second here. Njoku now with second 21 screen pass. He's got Van Wyck. He's got blockers. 40 inside the 40 to the 35, and they picked up 19 of those 21. What a play. They let them all come in, and then they had blockers for Van Wyck, and he scampered for 19 yards, bringing up a 3rd down and 2 now. Njoku has the team on the line of scrimmage quickly. I was going to say that after that sack by Crawford, Njoku tapped him on the helmet. Crawford gave him a little tap. Here's a great play by the Knights here. And at number 26, Smith, Duron Smith, almost took the handoff instead of Singletary. Singletary got the handoff, and the second he had it, here came Duron Smith. And
good job on his first name.
Yes.
That is how he says it.
And there was a 2-yard loss on the play, and now it'll be a 4th and 4 for the Tigers. But anyway, I was trying to say that Crawford and Njoku showed much respect for each other and good sportsmanship on that sack. I like to see that kind of stuff. It's 4th and 4 for the Tigers. Njoku has it. Quick pass to the right. He's got Smith. Sims. Robert Sims makes the catch. Thanks, Roger. That's Robert Sims, number 4. He's made a couple of catches here today. He's spun out of the tackle, and then he stepped out of bounds, but it was a first down for the Tigers.
I like to see that kind of stuff, too, that you described between Njoku and Crawford.
Yeah, good sportsmanship. You see too much of the other side of it these days. Here's Njoku back to pass. He stepped up into the pockets, got Singletary. The catch is made at around the 30. And then he bowls his way to about the 25. And he looked like he might be shaken up just a little bit here.
Yeah, Singletary never found a tackler he didn't want to take on. But in that case, Brenton Dominic came up and made an excellent tackle. And Singletary he looks like he's pretty angry that he may have messed up a shoulder. He's in pain.
Might have got one of those stingers.
Yeah, stinger, a burner maybe.
Hopefully that's all it is. He's kind of not waving that left arm too much there. Hopefully he can shake that off. It's 2nd down, and it looks like 4 yards to go for the Tigers. Hand off. Going to be 20 yards. Inside the 20-yard line, I should say. That is, how do we say his name? Tigerman?
Just call him
Horace.
T. Horace.
T. Horace. Oh, man. T. Horace. Got the first down, picked up about 8 yards. They're going to hand it off to Horace again. He's got the 15 to the 10, still going backwards all the way down to the 8. He got himself turned around, and he ended up running backwards the last couple of yards. He just used his legs and his leverage and got the last couple kind of unorthodox way. First goal for the Tigers at the 9 now as they keep on churning. This time, he's not going anywhere. Horace was engulfed by number 70, Noah Tristan
Noah.
I'm sorry, Tristan.
No, you're right. It is Noah Tristan.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach
Noah Tristan.
See, sometimes the rosters go first name to last, and other times they go last name to first, and sometimes it kind of throws me off a little bit. That's good. That's going to be my excuse for these mispronunciations. And I don't know if that's going to go very far. Loss of 2. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 11-yard line now for the Tigers, who lead 35-6 as we hit the waning point of the 3rd quarter. Pass over the middle into the end zone, incomplete as Van Wyck. I don't know if he had his hand on it or if the defender was able to knock it away, but it's incomplete. That was 3rd down. I think I might have said 2nd down, but that brings out the field goal team.
By the way, Braden Thompson did help to break up that pass, but the scoreboard says 35-6, and he's kind of getting in Van Wyck's face.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You look kind of silly doing that.
Yeah, you see a lot of that in the professional levels and different levels. Here's the field goal attempt. Looks like it's going to be a 28-yarder. Snap is good. Sissons got it down. And it is good for Rubio. 38-6 Tigers. We'll be back after this break.
We take care of you so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max. Taking care of business.
I was going to mention when George Ranch and Bush resumed their game on Monday, we broadcasted what was left of the game, we being James Kovaleski and me. And Bush, it was just a horrible defeat, Patrick. Bush's defense played clamp down. They were just awesome against George Ranch. But Bush threw a pick six, and they had a spread formation snap past their quarterback that was recovered at the 2-yard line by George Ranch, and they had a 2-yard touchdown drive, and they ended up losing 14-7. It was just galling.
Here's the kick by Rubio. It's going to come down at the goal line and in through the end zone, so it's going to be a touchback. So Bush had a 7-0 lead.
Yeah.
And
they never scored again after they came back.
They gave up those two goofy kind of plays, and that's how they lost the game.
Yeah, it was all the Bush offense not only not scoring, but making miscues that made it easy for George Ranch to score. They scored on the pick six, and they scored on a 2-yard touchdown drive on a bad snap.
Sounds like the Bush defense played a really good game again, as they have almost all year. Here's the Elkins Knights. Stewart has it right side. He's just trying to find some room out there. He gets about 3 yards on a run to the right. Elkins down by 32 here, 38-6. The Travis Tigers in command here with just over 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. They're going to give him, looks like they're going to give him about 4 yards on that play up to the 29-yard line. Second down and 6 for the Elkins Knights. Smith looking to pass, rolling to his right now. A little bit of pressure, and he throws it downfield, but it's incomplete. Looking over there for his receiver, looks like Sanders was his intended receiver. Incomplete. It's third down and 6 for the Knights. They had that long drive to start the second half to make it 28-6, and then they had looked like they were going to get it on, or like it wasn't really an onside kick, but it was a bloop kick that was mishandled and then batted ahead for Elkins, and they had the recovery, but they had offsides on the play and had to re-kick, and then Tigers have scored 10 straight since. Here's Smith back to pass. Lots of time. Looks to the right. Downfield. He has his man on the sideline, but he's out of bounds. The ball was just a little wide to Simmons.
By the way, I want to amend something I said earlier about Bush. I said it was a bad snap. It really wasn't a bad snap. It was just one of those snaps that the quarterback was looking at a receiver out to the side. He didn't even know the ball was coming, and the ball was already about 6-7 yards behind him before he even knew that it had been snapped. And part of that was because there are so few fans in the stands, there wasn't much of a reaction. He didn't hear it at all.
That's one of those freak plays, and it helped decide that game. Now the play clock has expired on the punt attempt by the Elkins Knights.
Well, this gives me more time to give a little more post-mortem on Bush's loss. Okay, so that dropped Bush to 4-1, but they're playing Ridge Point this Saturday. See, they were going to play Thursday, but because Bush had to finish their game on Monday, they had to bump the Ridge Point Bush game back to tomorrow afternoon, and they will play it at Traylor Stadium in Rosenberg.
Who does Bush play the following week?
Good question.
Okay, he's going to get into that. Here's the snap. Hart's got it. He's taken about 3-4 steps, and there was no rush. He got a good kickoff, and it rolls on after it lands, and it goes all the way down inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line, so it ends up being a real nice kick. For
49 yards, as a matter of fact.
Another long one. So tell us who Bush plays in the last game of the season.
They are going to play the Clements Rangers. So the Clements Rangers have had a wonderful season. They've only lost 2 district games. They lost to Ridge Point and to Travis, but they do have 2 very strong opponents that they'll need to beat. They'll probably have to beat both George Ranch tomorrow, which we'll have at 6 o'clock, and then next week they've got to beat Bush.
Here are the Tigers now with that 38-6 lead, and they're still throwing. And the ball's batted down that time. incomplete.
Torian Crawford knocked it down. There he is again.
We've mentioned him a number of times. Do you have any word on where he might be playing college football?
I asked Coach Brantley before that. He has several possibilities. He has not narrowed them down, and I think he's waiting for a really definitive offer. But he will have a future as a college football player.
Did they happen to mention any schools, or is that kind of
a lot of them were close. I mean, like Prairie View. And let me think about
Here's second
who
and
else
10 now for the Tigers. Singletary's back in the game. Good to see that. He's at the 30, 35, 40, 45, and he's still going, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 40. Well, they're going to mark him out at the 44.
He mentioned Sam Houston State.
Some good schools. It's good to see Singletary back on the field after he came off with the apparent shoulder. Might have been one of those stingers, and he got it corrected, and what a good run that was.
He might run right at number 29 now just to get him back.
Here's the first down snap. It looked like it was going to be a pitch. Here goes Njoku to the 50, 45 to the 40. It looked like he was going to pitch it to Singletary, and then he took it upfield, and he gained about 15 yards on the play. They got it all clicking here right now. They seem like everything they run is really working for the Tigers.
So Ridgepoint, Bush, and Travis.
So I got a question for you.
Sorry
about that. I got a question about the Bush Travis situation. Here's Njoku down, back to pass, looks downfield, and Sims looked like he didn't even expect the ball to be coming, and then at the last minute he had to make a dive for it. His incomplete pass. So here's what I want to ask: if Ridgepoint seems to be the team to beat, okay, so let's say Ridgepoint beats Bush, gives them their second loss, and then they end up beating Travis, then Travis would have 2 losses as well. So that means Bush would be the second team?
Well, just
because
remember, Bush has that game in the final week against Clements, and Clements could certainly beat Bush.
Let's just say that Bush would win. I'm not saying they're going to, but they both end up with 2 losses. Bush would be ahead of them, wouldn't they?
Okay, let me think about that.
Here's the handoff to Singletary. He's not going anywhere this time, and there's your man Crawford again, taking him to the ground, and it's going to be a loss of 1. So,
okay,
because Bush beat Travis is what I'm saying.
All right, so if Bush did beat Travis,
right?
But so let's say you're saying Bush, if they end the regular season with 2 district losses,
and if Travis ends with 2 losses as well.
If Travis, they're going to win tonight, but if they lose to Ridgepoint next week, they would have 2 losses.
Right.
Clements will have to win out to only have 2 losses, and George Ranch also needs to win out.
So they're all in the thick of it there. If they all win it out. And by the way, as we're talking, the quarter runs out. End of the third quarter. We'll get back to this. Travis 38 and Elkins 6.
Indeed.
Hi, this is Mariela and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Okay, so before we went to that break, Patrick was saying, we could have a bunch of teams with 2 losses, and that's right. It's a very conceivable scenario that Ridgepoint could be undefeated in district, Bush could have 2 losses, Travis could have 2 losses, Clements and George Ranch. Well, actually, when George Ranch and Clements play tomorrow night,
one of them will have 3.
The loser will basically be out.
Be out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a 3rd and 11 before we get back to scenarios here. Njoku waiting for the snap. Back to pass. Steps up, makes the pass across the middle. He's got his man open. 15, down to the 10. And he's down to the 5-yard line.
Okoguale.
That's the man who made the catch. He caught it at about the 25 and scampered another 20 yards all the way to the 5-yard line. It seems like on 3rd down, tonight, Travis has had a few long third and longs, and they just almost nonchalantly pick them up. I'm not sure how that's happening, but first and goal from the 5. Singletary gets the hand off, and he's up the middle, and he's flipped into the end zone. I think he's in. Yes, he's in. The last bit of it was a flip. Well,
he landed on his head in the end zone, and when your head hits the ground, you are down if no other body parts are hitting the ground.
And apparently
that is a touchdown.
And the ball must have been across the plane, and they put the hands up for the touchdown, and Singletary scores, and it's 44-6 now. And Rubio is back on the field for an extra point. He's trying to make it 45. Sism is the holder, waiting for the snap. And it's a good one. Kick is up. Looked like it was deflected, but it still went through. So the Tigers lead 45-6 with 11:33 to play here in the ball game.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Hope you're right.
All right, so the continuing discussion of
let's get
playoff
this thing
scenarios.
together.
All right, here's something that I already knew this, but my brother-in-law James Green just texted me to make sure that I say this correctly. With Travis winning this game, they're going to be in the playoffs. Ridgepoint already knows they are going to be in the playoffs. This win clinches a playoff spot for Travis. Ridgepoint has already clinched last week. So both of them will go to Division I because of their enrollment sizes. So they will face the runner-up of the district will face the Katy Tigers, and the winner of the district will face the Tompkins Falcons in the first round. So it'll be brutal competition in the by-district round.
Just the way it was last year. Here's the kickoff from Rubio, fair catch, and a bobble. I guess that would be a muff, and then he was able to.
You can't advance it.
You can't advance
when you call a fair catch.
Yep.
If you even if you drop it, you have to just stay right there.
Yeah, that was Greg Green who was called for that fair catch, and then he muffed it, and it was positioned right there, and they're gonna mark it right where he recovered it at the 12. So so then Travis is in the playoffs, but the question is where will they be in the playoffs, and that's what we're trying to iron out here.
Well, you know something else? I just realized that I said something that's kind of presumptuous that I have to correct.
Okay, we're gonna correct that in a minute here. Here's Smith. He pitches it. Stewart's gonna pass down the field. It's gonna be intercepted, and that's Njoku at the 30, 25, 15, 10, and he's fighting for the end zone. He's knocked out of bounds at the 5-yard line, and the tackle was Sanders. Nick Sanders was able to save the touchdown for the time being. There was a little pitch to Stewart. He got himself into a passing mode, and he threw it downfield, and it was just kind of hanging there. His receiver was not that open to begin with, and then there was an easy interception for Dominic Njoku.
All right, so my presumptuous thing that I said is that I need to correct is that the Katy Tigers are not necessarily going to be in Division I. It depends on the other playoff qualifiers from District 19-6A.
Here's a handoff to Singletary. He makes one cut, and he's in the end zone. That was an easy one, and he didn't have to knock anybody over that time.
Yes, this game is officially out of hand.
It's out of hand. We better start digging into the bag of tricks here.
Well, see, now I'm just going to say that I wrote down the enrollments. So Katy's enrollment, Katy High School's enrollment is 3,466. Tompkins is bigger at 4,018. Seven Lakes is bigger at 3,767. So if Seven Lakes gets into the playoffs, which they could, that means Katy moves down into Division II, and Ridgepoint or Travis would avoid playing the Katy Tigers in that particular scenario. It's kind of a headache. In Class 5A, they separate into Division I and Division II before the season even starts. But in Class 6A, they play in districts, schools of all enrollments, and then once the playoff qualifiers are found, then they separate them into Division I and Division II.
Rubio kicked the extra point, by the way.
Yes, I'm sorry.
52-6. We'll be right back.
Antonio, he's kicked so many. He doesn't kick.
When everything works together, it's a beautiful thing. With Xfinity, you get Wi-Fi faster than a gig to power a house full of devices, so your home becomes a symphony of activity. We start with Dad streaming cooking videos in the kitchen. Add a little gaming in the basement. Gorgeous. Now let's bring in some working from the couch. And finally, the sweet melody of Grandpa streaming his nature shows. Can your internet do that? And there goes Grandpa.
Power a house full of connected devices. Learn more about Wi-Fi speed faster than a gig and other fast speed options. Get started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months with the 1-year agreement. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 12/31/21. Restrictions apply. New Connect 50 megabits per second Internet customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig Internet and XI gateway. Actual speeds vary.
We're back.
Rubio's kick, fielded at the 7-yard line. Green's got it. Right side, 30, 35, 40. He's still on his feet. He's knocked out of bounds right around midfield as Green got it and beeline to the right side, and he was able to get all the way to the, where are they going to mark it?
And by the way,
right at midfield, I believe.
Braden Thompson was making a nice clearing block for Green, and he wisely kind of raised his arms up to make sure the official didn't flag him for holding. He wasn't holding anyone. He wanted to make sure he didn't draw that flag.
Well, that's a good play on his part, and then it allowed Green then to scamper up to the 50. Good field position for the Elkins Knights. They trail, though, 52-6. Hand off, fake. Smith's got it, 45, 40. All the way down to the 35-yard line. They faked the handoff to Palouse. And then Isaiah Smith kept it and ran for 15. 1st and 10, Elkins at the Tiger 35-yard line. 10:40 to play here in the ball game, and the winner of this game has been decided. The final score remains to be seen. Here's Palouse now with the handoff, and he's going to get to the 31-yard line for a pickup of 4. Roger, all that talk about the playoffs, and I still don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I know Rich Point,
and maybe we'll know.
The problem, I think, the biggest problem is which division. You know, you get Division I and Division II, and it kind of throws things off. At least from my perspective. Here's the little inside handoff to Green, the guy who had a good return, and he ran a long way, was only able to pick up about 2 yards. He ran all the way across the field for 2 yards.
There's a particular score that I'm looking for that'll help me kind of explain the situation in District 19 6A, which is where you have Katy and Tompkins and 3 other teams that are fighting for the other 2 playoff
Seven
berths.
Lakes is one of them, apparently.
Yes.
Sadly, 3rd down and, 4 yards to go for the Elkins Knights. With a 9:30 to play here in the 4th quarter, they trail by a big score here, 52-6. As now there's a timeout by the Elkins Knights. Roger, we have a timeout with 9:22 to play.
Let's hold on. Let's take a quick timeout and come back, and I'll find what I was looking for.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Okay, Patrick, I have a breakthrough here.
Good.
Because tonight, where did that score go? Dang it.
He had the breakthrough.
It was right there. Okay.
Okay,
here we go. Here we go.
Okay, Roger's got it.
Cinco Ranch is leading Morton Ranch tonight 55-16. So Morton Ranch, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this basically eliminates them, not mathematically, but they play Katy next week. Morton Ranch is not going to beat Katy. So forget about Morton Ranch.
When Cinco Ranch is beating them, is what you said. Cinco
Ranch is whooping up on Morton Ranch, yes. And next week, Katy is going to beat Morton Ranch anyway. So Morton Ranch is done.
3rd and 4 for Elkins. We'll get right back to it. Here's Smith. Back. He's now flushed out of the pocket, rolls to the right, makes a pass on the run, and he's got his man. Had his fingertips on it, but he couldn't hang on. Landon Simmons. He would have been a good catch. It was a low throw to him, and Smith was on the run, and he had to get rid of it. Let's go back to Roger.
All right, so Seven Lakes, I think they are off this week, and they play Maid Creek next week, and they're very likely to win that one. And Tompkins, their playoff position is secure. They don't have any relevant games. You got Seven Lakes and Cinco Ranch playing each other next week, but I think they're both going to the playoffs. But there's more to say.
Smith takes the snap for the Elkins Knights on 4th down and 4, and I think he's going to get the first down.
Good job there, Isaiah Smith. Nice run.
Where they mark it.
Tiptoe down the sideline and got just enough.
He did get just enough. He got to the 24-yard line.
Okay, so your playoff qualifiers out of 19-6A in order of biggest enrollments to smallest. Okay, the biggest is Seven Lakes at 3,767. They will be in Division 1. No, correction. Tompkins is the biggest with 4,018, and Seven Lakes is the next biggest.
So they're both in Division 1.
Yeah, Seven Lakes and Tompkins in Division 1.
Here's this pass downfield toward the end zone. Caught. It was caught and then dropped by Hart, but he might have been out of bounds anyway, as Smith made a pretty good throw, but he was out of bounds. Go ahead, Roger.
He made a very quick turn just in time to get the ball, but he just couldn't hold it. Okay, so the two teams out of District 19-6A who will go to Division 1 playoffs are Tompkins and Seven Lakes, and Katy and Cinco Ranch will move into Division 2 playoffs.
Okay, here's the handoff to Palouse, and he's fighting for the line of scrimmage. That's about all he's got. Now, how does that work? Like from the district 26A, who's in the Division 1? Who's in Division 2?
Okay, well,
how does that work? Because these enrollments are all well below the ones that you're talking about.
Yeah, but it only matters what your enrollments are compared to the other teams in the district that you compete in. So Ridgepoint and Travis are the two biggest enrollments in District 26A. So both of them will go to Division 1.
Okay, so the enrollments of these 26A schools has nothing to do with compared to the enrollments of the 19-6A.
That's right.
In other words, and there was a whistle on the play and a timeout from Elkins there. So
let's keep it here.
Let's just say that somebody from, let's say Ridgepoint plays Tompkins. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So
Ridgepoint's going to the game at basically 3,000 students versus a school at 4,000 students.
Yes.
And the let's say it's the Tigers. They go against Katy. They're going against a school that's let's see.
They're going against Seven Lakes.
It'd be going against Seven Lakes. Okay, I see, because they would be Division 1.
Right.
But they were still 800 students less. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Well, it doesn't matter what your enrollment is compared to a team in another competing district. It only matters what your enrollment is compared to the teams in the district in which you compete.
I guess what I'm saying is then you end up playing bigger schools. Why do they even do this? It's silly.
Because schools are not all the same size,
and they're playing against schools that aren't the same size. So in other words, let's look at the Katy District 19-6A there. Okay, all of the schools are larger. All of the playoff schools would be larger than all of the our schools.
Right.
So why do they? Why would they even put Division 1, Division 2? They're all bigger anyway. Who cares?
Well, see,
and they're going to end up playing smaller schools.
What you're saying is valid because there are times when the team that wins the Class 6A Division 1, quote-unquote, big school division actually has a smaller enrollment than a team that ended up in the Division 2, smaller school division.
That does not make sense to me. That is the weirdest. I don't know how whoever came up with that. It just seems odd to me. It seems like our division should be playing. Here it is, 4th down for Elkins now, 4th and 13. Downfield he goes. Did he catch it? Nope, he's out of bounds. He made a real good effort over there, and he was out of bounds with the catch, and I think that's Green again. I can't see his number.
I think you're right. If it's not Green number 8, it's Assad Abbas, one or the other.
You see a 9 down there? I'm thinking 6. It might have been.
You may be right.
It might have been Simmons down there.
You may be right.
What I'm saying, Roger, is our schools, let's say they're right around 3,000 students, they should be playing in some. The playoff picture should be they should be playing a district or teams with 3,000 students.
Well, you're saying kind of makes sense because,
it makes
like
too
I
much
said,
sense. This is really weird. Here's a pass. They're still passing.
Sissom is in there at quarterback.
There you
go. The junior and the coach's son and the heir apparent to Anthony Njoku for the 2022 version of the Travis Tigers.
He's the presumptive starter for next year.
The QB1 in waiting.
Exactly. And the Tigers picked up 6 yards on that catch. Pass and catch, and there's 6 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the ball game. Roger and I have been really engulfed in the playoff talk here, and there's a game still going on. 52-6, the Tigers. Hand off. Up the middle he goes. He's got lots of yards. He's still going. I'm sorry I didn't have his name right away, but that's T. Horace.
T. Horace
on the carry.
It looks like his first name would be pronounced Tiger Nan, but I'm just not sure. And if he is, he's the perfect guy to be running the football for the Travis Tigers.
When you look at the name, it looks like it's something Tigernan.
It's probably pronounced Tyran or something.
Yeah, like silent letters and so on. But Horace sounds like a good name to call him, huh?
Maybe if we get invited to the Travis Tigers football banquet, we could go around to guys and say, if you're going to be playing next year, we need your pronunciation.
Here's the first down snap from the 49-yard line. Here's Horace again. He's going to rumble and stumble for about 3. But I don't understand. Just this whole idea of the Division 1, Division 2 has me baffled. I do not. I always thought that, they divided them up, but they ended up playing the same size school. I thought that's why they divided them up. But what you're telling me, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with within your own division, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, well, it doesn't make sense to me when the big school division champion is smaller than the small school division champion. That doesn't make sense to me. So we're kind of on the same page.
It wouldn't if they would do it the way I said it. You wouldn't have that problem. Here's the handoff, and it's T. Horace again. He's got about 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and looks like 5 yards.
Well, you may have a division the next time the UAL aligns, which they will do before next school year starts. They'll let us know in February who's going to be playing against whom. They do that every 2 years. And so there is a chance that they may come up with a division called 7A, and a bunch of these larger enrollment Class 6A schools will have their own division, 7A, and then you won't have all this nonsense. But there will still be some disparities in enrollments.
Here's the 3rd and 4 play. Horace getting a lot of work here. 40-yard line, 35, still running. A penalty marker comes flying in. I think there might be an illegal block that might have sprung him. And one of the Travis Tigers, looks like Coleman Atkins is wondering about the call. He may have gotten caught there with an illegal block.
Okay, so to sum up, and people may be tired of us talking about this, but the 2 big school entries out of District 26A in the playoffs will be Ridgepoint and Travis. The question is, it's Bush, Clements, and George Ranch vying for 2 spots in the Division 2 bracket of Class 6A. And out of 19-6A, you have the Katy Tigers, who will be in Division 2. You have the Tompkins Falcons and the Seven Lakes Spartans, who will be in Division 1, and Cinco Ranch will join the Katy Tigers in Class 6A Division 2.
The penalty marks it back basically to the line of scrimmage where they started from. It'll be 3rd and 5. Sism takes the snap. Horace has it, and he's going to be short of the first down by, looks like 2 yards as the clock winds at 3:45 to play.
Yeah, there's more time than you thought.
Well, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to go any further on this, Roger. But I always thought that the alignment of the big school, small school, quote unquote, Division 1, Division 2. I always thought that meant that the schools were aligned so that they were closer in enrollment, but it really does not have to do with that.
Yeah, in Class 5A, they are doing it the way you want them to do it.
Why don't
they separate into Division 1 and Division 2 before the season starts.
By literal enrollment, then.
Yeah.
And they are playing who they should play then.
Yes, for example, Hightower is a big enough school that they're not going to play in the same district as Marshall. So Hightower plays in the district with Pato and Angleton and Kempner and
because they're in very similar enrollments.
So that is in a Class 5A Division 1 district, but you got Marshall, Willow Ridge, Galena Park, Houston, Sterling, Sharpstown, and some others. They're in a Class 5A Division 2 district.
If the 5A can do that, how come the 6A can't do that?
It's a good question, and you would have to ask someone who makes decisions like that at the UIL.
Here's Rubio's punt now, and he gets it down to about the 11-yard line. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I can tell you get kind of frustrated talking about it.
I get frustrated because the implication when you say Division 1, Division 2 is that you're putting the Division 1 schools who are similar enrollment, and then you're putting the Division 2 people who are in similar enrollments, and that's not the case. It just doesn't make sense to me. But why should it? It's 2021. Nothing should make sense, right?
Well, it's not the good people's fault. Well, I'm not saying the people at the UIL aren't good people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm thinking about other things that are all full of deceit.
Discombobulated.
Not UIL stuff.
I hear you. Otherworldly stuff. And Stewart took that handoff, rambled for 8 yards, including a nice plowing over of one of the Travis tacklers. Smith, pass to the left, complete, and ridden out of bounds. Looks like that's Hart for a first down. The Elkins Knights have had a few good plays, but they just can't seem to string enough of them together and consistently.
After this play, I want to share the thoughts of our crack producer.
Oh, good.
Trey Grubb. He has some suggestions.
All right. Here's the handoff, Stewart. He's found an opening to the 45 to the 40, or excuse me, to the 45 to the 48.
Height. It's height.
It's height. You're right. You're right. It's height.
Okay,
so
what's
this? What's the?
Trey Grubb says, I'm going to quote him directly, gremlins for Christmas. I don't know what that means. But then he says it's time to debate whether a field goal over 50 yards should be 5 points.
Oh, boy.
He says, here's another play.
It's a complete pass. Still running to the 45, and then he's finally knocked out of bounds.
Landon.
That's Simmons with the reception. One of the Tigers had his jersey try to pull him down. He kept on running.
Trey says we should debate whether a tomato is a fruit. And he said, I think he meant this text for someone else because it says enrollment and socioeconomics play a big role in the type of player you can get. I don't think that was meant for us. He's probably texting with a lot of people tonight.
Here is the handoff. Stewart. He gets about 2 yards on the play, and Tigers are wrapping them up pretty good there. As a solid group of red coming in for the tackle there. Under a minute and a half to play.
By the way, you and I are going to have to carry our gear down the steps tonight because the elevator's not working, and the table has to go to Trailer Stadium for the game between Ridgepoint and Bush.
Boy, oh boy. Here's Smith back to pass. Plenty of time. Now he's rushed. He's going to scramble. A penalty marker comes flying in. And sometimes I wonder when it's 52-6, you just let those, unless it's a flagrant penalty.
Yeah, unless it's something like a personal foul.
Yeah, he's going to call a hold or something here. Yep. Especially when the team is down by 46 points.
Yeah, 52-6 is our score.
Sometimes, I mean, who's going to see the infraction? You know, I mean, are the fans really going to see that? Yeah. Coaches probably don't.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
Well, the coaches probably don't really see it either. And
if wasn't seen, I guess it didn't happen.
Right. Well, apparently it was seen. It's under a minute. The clock's running. Height comes back into the ball game behind Smith, and he's going to get the fake handoff. Pass to the right. It's caught by Schmidt. And he's tackled right away.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I want to also bring, this is the final thing we'll say about classification and enrollments and divisions and stuff like that. But my brother-in-law, James Green, says one of the rumors that he has heard since the whole D1, D2 debate thing is that too many schools want to play at the quote-unquote highest level, and there aren't enough schools to do that. 7A on the horizon might be a way to change that and get everybody competing with other schools of the appropriately similar enrollments. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, all right. Well, the game has concluded.
Oh, it has. How about
concluded.
that?
The players are down there lined up. It looks like they might be shaking hands tonight, Roger.
I hope so. I think it's kind of silly to walk up to the hash marks and stop.
Let's see if they keep coming up the line.
I think they're
going
to do it.
Roger, that's a great sight to see. They're shaking hands at midfield here. It's a great win for the Tigers. They continue to they keep their division or district hopes alive to win it all, but they have to beat a really tough Ridgepoint team to be able to do that. But the playoff bound, you said it's clinched tonight, right, for the Travis Tigers?
Yeah, Travis has clinched a playoff spot. They'll be in Division 1. Ridgepoint has already done the same. They will also be in Division 1. Over in Katy, we know that the Seven Lakes Spartans and the Cinco Ranch Cougars will be – no, I'm sorry. I'm messing it up again. Okay, so the Tompkins Falcons and the Seven Lakes Spartans will be in Class 6A Division 1 playoffs, and the Katy Tigers and the Cinco Ranch Cougars will be in Division 2. And
we'll have the playoff matchups when they actually are solved. We'll have that for sure. And Roger and I have a lot of work to do to get this equipment picked up, and we got steps to climb.
And then God willing, we have to go down, and then God willing, tomorrow we will bring you on VypeFortBend.com the 1 o'clock game between Ridgepoint and Bush, and then the nightcap at 6 p.m. is the Clements Rangers taking on George Ranch. It's basically an elimination game, and we're going to be rooting our guts out for the Clements Rangers. Nothing against the George Ranch folks, but we really want to see Bobby Darnell and his team get that playoff spot. So for Patrick Kinnick and Trey Grubb and everyone on the Vype team, we thank you so much for being with us. And we're going to crank it up and let you hear the Elkins Knights play their alma mater and say goodnight until tomorrow at 12:45 p.m. from Trailer Stadium, Ridgepoint, and Bush. Good night from Hall Stadium. Our final score, Travis 52 and Elkins 6. Thanks for helping us.
I'll see you tomorrow night.
All right. You're not going to Trailer?